喂，hello，聲音睇下話，我試一試聲先，睇下有冇問題先。而家冇人入嚟啦，咁啊自己試下聲先。應該就冇問題嘅。好啦。我衰格㗎，成日咧喺 YouTube 度咧揾唔返自己個直播㗎。係啦，好啦，又嚟啦。喂，試一試聲先，聲音畫面有冇問題？各樣嘢。係啦，我喺 YouTube 度咧成日都揾唔返自己個直播㗎。都唔知喺邊度揾嘅，係啦，好啦，咁我就當聲音畫面冇問題先啦。OK， 好啦，咁啊翻到嚟呢個東方快車謀殺案咁啊 part 3又而家係冇錯啦。上回咧就講到咧，就幫呢個女人啦拆解呢個俄羅斯娃娃，係啦，Mr. Poirot，OK， 係啦。咁而家我哋繼續咧睇睇先，睇 remind 下我哋要做啲咩先嗱，喺呢度睇翻啦。好啦，我哋要去揾每一個乘客嘅不在場證明，係啦，同埋咧就係向呢個名字不明嘅人問話。咁呢架火車上仲有幾個人係我哋唔識佢㗎，之後同埋就係揾一個疑犯嘅個姓名係 H 開頭嘅人啦。咁點解 H 開頭咧？就係其中一個喺案發現場留低咗嘅一個物件啦，就係一塊手巾仔。咁啊係呢個寫住咗 H 啊，繡上咗呢 H 嘅字喺度。好啦，咁我哋繼續去查案啦。好啦，想敲下205號房先。205號房係邊個？Monsieur,
I am Hercule.
I know who you are, Monsieur Poirot. What do you want?
Answers to a simple
Iron Man
question.
All right, but quickly. My wife is quite ill. I would like to stay by her
老婆唔舒
side.
服。
I promise. First of all, I imagine you know
你成
about
車都知啦，
the
謀殺案。
Of course. The Countess is terribly distressed.
啊，
Your full name?
Rodolphe Adreny,
Your home is?
Budapest.
And
布達
how
佩斯。
do you come to be aboard the Orient?
布達佩斯喺邊度？即刻
I
嚟
am a
買標
Hungarian
題。
diplomat. My family has represented our homeland since the revolution from the Soviet Union in 1956. I was
Voilà.
on my country's business in Istanbul. Business
佢又
which
去伊
I
斯坦
cannot
堡
discuss.
嘅。
And your wife often accompanies you on your diplomatic missions?
Yes,
布
why
達
not?
佩斯
Was there anything else you wanted to know?
唔知。好啦，我哋而家又要揾一揾佢到底係，即係要分析佢個人啦。好啦，見到布達佩斯咧就係匈牙利嚟嘅，係啦。好啦，佢呢個職業咧睇下先，佢係一個匈牙利嘅外交官啦。啱佢嗰個對白嗰度講翻歲數咁啊。呢個其實我成日覺得好難揀，即係佢個你話佢係34歲咧，我係覺得 OK 嘅。但係做外交官係幾多歲咧？我覺得試下34歲先啦，54。你覺得54？好，跟你講54。
I do not
係
think
錯嘅
that's the right
係就係34咯。係啊，佢比想象中年輕
Et voilà.
啊，年青有為，34啊，外交官啊，我30幾歲仲係坐喺屋企直播打機啊。好啦，首先問下佢嘅不在場證明
Can
先。
you tell me how you spent last night?
琴
I
晚
was
做緊
in
咩
our？ compartment with my wife. She went to bed early. I played a video game on my phone. Around
玩
11
玩
o'clock
video
in the
game。
evening, my wife woke up and couldn't get back to sleep. She took a sleeping pill.
好，
As
佢
for
都有
me,
食
I
安
went
眠
to
藥啊，
bed
跟
soon
住呢個好
after
緊要嘅
that
嘢。
and slept straight through until morning.
Have you ever been
你有冇去過美
to
國？
the United States?
I was posted to the Hungarian embassy in Washington for a year.
You knew perhaps the Armstrong family.
Armstrong
Armstrong. It is difficult to recall.
咁
One meets so
轟
many.
動嘅新聞冇扮唔識。 啊，呢個有嫌疑啊！好，問下佢老婆
It
安卓
was
里夫人
the kidnapping of a child, a very sad affair. The culprit was the man on this train who called himself Ratchet, the one who was murdered last night.
Indeed. It sounds like justice finally caught up with him.
Thank you for your time. Now, I'd like to speak to your wife. If
同
you
我老
don't
婆傾下
mind.
偈
It's
先。
impossible. As I told you, my wife is very ill. Thank you.
我老婆病
good
咗
luck with the investigation.
即刻趕我出門口。呢啲人咧信不
Eh
過。
bien. The good count does not appear
Voilà.
to want me to talk to his wife.
好我哋咧，好，我哋又去第二間房。204號係邊個？唔好理啊，開咗先。204號就係佢。
Madame Hubbard, may I ask you
就
a
問下佢
question
先
or two? It won't
睇下有
take
冇新
long.
問題問下
Anything
佢。
I can do to help?
刺繡手卷啊！
misplaced a handkerchief recently?
No, I don't think so. Why?
We found a handkerchief embroidered with the letter H,
揾到張
so I
字母
thought it
H
might
嘅
have
手
been
巾。
yours.
I'm sorry, but it's not. It may belong to Miss Schmidt, Princess Dragomirov's lady's maid. I believe her first name is Hildegard.
Hildegard 呢啲係嗰啲
Anyone
嘅德
could
文
be
名啊嘛。
lying, of course. I thank you, madame.
OK，佢就話唔關佢事啦。繼續去203就好似係案發現場啦，唔使睇。202就係自己間房，咁啊201啦。201就係呢個邊個？
Can I do
我
something
就咁
for you?
開門入去
Hello,
㗎，
Monsieur Hardman, I
完
believe.
全冇禮貌。
You have heard of the murder?
Cyrus Hardman. Yes, and the fact that there's been a murder is all over the train.
You do not seem very concerned about it, monsieur.
It's not the first murder I've run across.
I had no idea the selling of toys was so dangerous. I did overhear you mention at dinner that this is your profession.
Toy salesman is a cover. I'm a
喂，
private
原來
detective.
佢都係個
just
私家
like
偵探
you,
行家啊，有行家。好啦，就佢係美國人啦，職業私家偵探，年齡佢個年齡啊，切55啦，今次係嘛？啱晒，我真係聰明，
I'm right again.
係又講，我又啱啊，自信就係咁嚟。好啦，傾下偈先。
I did not expect to find another detective on this train.
I just finished a job in Istanbul when I received an email from Ratchet. He hired
哦
me to protect
哦，
him.
原來佢係負責保護嗰個死者嘅
I'm
喎。
not happy about that. He'd received some threatening letters. I was supposed to watch his back, and
請人
yeah,
保護係咪會請個
something
保
I
鏢多過
failed
請
to
私家
do.
偵探
He？ seemed to think he was in more danger when he left the train.
He was traveling to Paris?
I assume so, but I'm not entirely sure.
Can anyone on this train confirm your identity?
Yeah, that McQueen kid.
Oh,
Ratchet's
McQueen.
secretary.
個肥仔點分啊？個樣得咁殘咪啦，完全係揾笨。我哋不在
Were
場證
you
明有
on
冇？
duty last night?
You bet. I kept my door open a crack and I watched all night. No one entered that car who didn't belong there.
Did you
佢
see
都係嗰
anything
啲
in
疑心人
particular?
啊！
The conductor, Michelle, he was there most of the time too, except for 15 minutes or so after we left Vinkovsky. He must have answered a call from Ratchet's room. Then he was absent again for a while around 1 a.m. After that, he didn't
佢
move
講嘅嘢好
until
似都冇破綻啊！
Monsieur
Armstrong.
Altman, have you heard of the Armstrong case?
Armstrong, the kidnapping 3 or 4 years ago? Who hasn't? Why?
Ratchet's real name was Cassetti. I have
Cassetti.
reason to believe he was the kidnapper.
What? He killed that little girl?
小朋友係殺嘅，
No, I didn't know. If I had
我哋都係
known,
估嘅
I
啫。
wouldn't have taken the job.
Do you
Well,
have any idea who was
威
behind the
脅信
threatening letters?
I don't know his name, but Ratchet told me he was a small man.
Small
Dark hair,
man.
with a womanish kind of voice.
Oh, thank you for your help.
好啦，問下佢個手巾仔係咪你嘅？
Is this handkerchief embroidered with an H yours?
Do I look like the kind of guy who would use a handkerchief like that?
咁串，
Thank you
樣都
for answering
睇
my
歲數已經
question,
難啦，
Monsieur
仲要我
Altman.
估埋佢個樣會唔會
Listen,
用手巾仔？
I know I fell down on the job, but if you need help, any at all, let me know.
行家一出手就
I'd
便知有與
like
冇
to。make it right.
OK，咁啊，而家呢刻咧佢就冇幫手，但係佢台面都有啲嘢睇下，拎起人哋嘅手機直接又係毫無禮貌，話 West 嗰啲咩啊 BlackBerry 嘅手機係咪啊？而家仲冇人用 BlackBerry 啊？睇睇先。
It has been a while since I
係
have
啦，
seen
我都冇
one
見好
of
耐啦。
those.
BlackBerry 手機，咁間房就冇其他嘢。好，走人。係啊 ，BlackBerry 手機，以前好鬼好用㗎，其實有一期我姑姐咧都係用呢個 BlackBerry 手機嘅，咁啊睇到佢啊覆 email 啊，攞嚟即係 send message 啊，做文件嘢啊，咁就非常非常得心應手嘅。我話敲下107號房門先。
I am not prepared to receive anyone. Come back later.
Very well, madam. I'll come back later. But you will need to speak to me.
睇睇先，107號房係邊個咧？107，我以前可以插電都好方便，係啊。我107號房就係呢個俄羅斯唔知咩公主定乜鬼啊？佢唔方便見我 ，OK， 咁我陣間先嚟揾佢。106係邊個啊？106係睇翻先。106係上位啊，上一集齋打我一拳嗰個。阿 Blue 佢仲喺度守候緊個女警啊，同佢傾下偈先啦，難得見到佢。
So, my friend,
my
have
friend.
you finished your investigation?
No, but I have managed to solve a few
冇
mysteries.
咁心急。
Okay, I stay here to watch this young lady.
好啊，冇電咪換電，仲有萬用叉，冇錯啦，嗰啲你可以喺手機鋪啊買嗰啲2針嗰啲啊。萬用叉啊，嗰兩隻腳仔掂到粒電就叉緊電，雖然超慢，但係咧就有嗰個咧就乜電都叉到啦。
I hope your investigation is going well, Mr. Poirot.
Poirot 102號房，102號房係邊個啊？係啊 ，McQueen 同 McQueen 確認下先，
Monsieur McQueen,
確
may
認
I
下
ask
嗰
you
個
a
私家偵
question?
探講嘢係咪真嘅先？唔係喎，佢係淨係問呢個刺繡手
This
絹喎。
handkerchief embroidered with an H. Is it yours?
No, I don't use cloth handkerchiefs.
睇得出啊！
Thank you. I won't bother you anymore.
有人試過萬用叉可以叉 AirPod， 咁應該都係得嘅，都係兩隻腳啫，正同褲啊！床嗰度有本書，呢本書係咩啊？ The Call of the Wind。OK。OK， 呢度一又係入唔到。OK， 咁其實好似係咪問晒未？咁都要睇 work 數，有啲可以校唔同電壓嘅，咁咧就好就即係叫做點講啊？慢用啲咯，有啲即係快叉啊，慢叉。而家就唔係冇呢啲嘢，其實而家都有嘅。而家嗰個表現方式啊，變咗做尿袋啊，即係而家叫咩啊？充電寶啊，尿袋，我哋叫尿袋啊，變咗做尿袋，即係只要你有 Type C 啊，有 USB 咁啊，可以叉到電，咁係另一種方便嚟嘅，都可以話係，即係個電源啊行動咗咯，就唔使話真係下下都要插電咁咯，係啦。好，去翻個餐卡嗰度先。你有冇嘢問啊？冇嘢問你啦。之後佢哋就問咗噶啦，幫佢解決咗個橙汁機嗰個齒輪難題。
Hello again, Mr. Poirot. How can I help
你有冇嘢問啊？你有冇嘢問我？問晒嘞喎。點啊？仲有邊個啊？成架車得幾卡咁樣？ 廁所有冇人啊？我哋就打開見佢屙緊薯薯，勁冇禮貌，就咁打開人哋房門。定係要去翻問翻個俄羅斯公主係咪107啊？真係係咯，呢度去晒啦，去翻107睇下先啦。再行就係佢哋個食物倉庫喂，行李倉庫係啦，我哋去翻107先。係啦，如果個節奏快啲，我可以跑就好啦。我而家去107號房。暫時其實我就睇一睇先，有冇頭緒咧？即係到底有冇其他嘢？譬如有邊個？爭2個乘客喎，即係一個應該係嗰個女人啦，即係閂門唔俾我問嗰個外交官嗰個老婆係啦。另外一個應該係嗰個俄羅斯公主一成停喺度嘅。有啲嘢咁好似205，再問你，說服佢喎，可以揀邊個啊？要求佢幫手定還是要求佢幫手洗開佢
If I am to catch this murderer, I will need your help.
My help? I am at your service, Poirot.
好先生你好愛你嘅妻子啊
Obviously a devoted husband, Count Andrini.
My wife means the world to me.
我太太就係我全世界
about a Hungarian diplomat
好人
marrying an American woman.
It did not deter you.
I would have given up my position for her. I would think it is universal. Are you married, Mr. Poirot?
No, I fear marriage is
我都
not
覺得
for me. But her
唔適合婚
condition,
姻
is it very grave?
She is suffering about a vertigo. You understand? The room spins.
不如我叫醫生幫你啊
I think Dr. Constantine could help your wife.
There is a doctor on this train? I did not know. Where is this doctor?
佢唔得閒
I
叫佢
think
過嚟啦
Dr. Constantine is in the lounge car. If not, perhaps the conductor can tell you where he is.
明明就喺
Very well, I will
1號
find him.
110幾號房
Thank you very much.
咁我哋行去啊
Forgive me for
完全
intruding,
係
madam. I am
睇唔出你幾愛老婆
I know
係我
who
行啦
you
咁
are,
樣就
Mr.
行咗去啦
Poirot. I overheard you send my husband on a wild goose chase.
Your husband cares for you greatly, madam. I apologize for exploiting that fact.
有阿
But
雲
the
嘅
situation is urgent, and I need to ask you a few questions.
Apology accepted. I realize you must speak to everyone. This horrendous murder. It's very upsetting.
That is a beautiful music box.
我話
Please
係
don't
幾
touch
靚
the
喎
music box. It's a fragile family heirloom.
Your accent, is it American? Boston, perhaps?
You have a good ear, Mr. Poirot. Yes. Born and raised in what we call the Back Bay.
Back
Are
Bay
you in the diplomatic service like your husband?
No, not officially. I was still in college when I met Rudy 2 years ago. I keep myself busy handling his scheduling, travel,
後生女啊
appointments.
Ah, what is this saying? Behind every great man there is a great woman.
That was the saying. Today
That's what
one
the
might
saying.
reverse the sentiment as well, don't you think?
Of course, I stand corrected.
好啊我先估估先佢係美國人啊嘛無業畢業冇耐39歲啦
I must admit I do
錯咗
not like this
唔通係
type.
21歲定還是係因為佢係外交官啊？邊度錯？試下21歲先，真係21歲。呢、個咁後生，有冇搞錯？但係佢老公係30幾歲嘅，即係大你11年。
A handkerchief embroidered with an H was found at the crime scene. By
係咪你
any
嘅？
chance, does your first name begin with an H?
No, my first name is Elena, with an E.
Lena，不在場證明你有冇？
Tell me what you did last night.
Well, my husband and I went to dinner. Then we came back here. We went to bed around 10 o'clock. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't because of the shaking of the train. I suffer from vertigo. I finally took a sleeping pill and that did the trick.
When did the train's motion prevent you from
火車
sleeping?
搖係幾時啊？
Between midnight and 2 a.m. I know because I must have looked at my watch about 10 times.
I see.
佢有問題喎。2點鐘架車嚟講就應該係停咗嘅。
Come
講大
now,
話喎。
Countess. You are not telling me the truth.
Why do you say that?
火車停駛咗啦。
The train stopped at 12:30 a.m. due to snow. So there was no shaking of the
係啊。
train. But you told me that it was the shaking that prevented you from
點解要講大話？
I don't know, you're confusing me.
我搞啊！
My
我搞到你好亂。
A man died last night. You can't talk nonsense just because you're sick. You are hiding something from me.
兇佢啊！即刻。
How dare you? I didn't do anything wrong. I'm going to find my
我揾
husband.
老公啊！唔同你講嘢。有古怪。
That was unkind, I know, but my
佢
strategy
插入成
worked.
怪，
I
佢即
can
刻
now
好似
inspect this room in peace.
趕走咗所有人，之後抄人間房，哇！不知所謂，呢啲男人。好啦，睇睇先，唔理㗎啦，都冇道德㗎啦，睇睇先。哇！啲靚耳環啊，靚耳環啊，靚頸鏈，好靚嘅，深深。好，呢度安眠藥，佢真係安眠藥嚟嘅，就係同一隻。
These must be the sleeping pills
應
that
該
Countess
係咪安眠藥都
Conley
同
took
一個樽
last
嘅？
night.
好古怪啊！都有古怪咧，都係嗰個係咪啊？即係最令人在意都係嗰個音樂盒。咁啊，睇睇本書先，呢個本書係咩啊？The Great Gatsby 咩意思啊？呢個唔識喎，又冇得打開嘅喎。好啦，之後 Google search 下先。好啦，音樂盒落出嚟又要解謎啦。 又要解下音樂盒嘅謎題。喺呢度，會要玩輪盤啊
It's closed.
It's closed。點啊？要跟住，即係冇理由咁易啊！係跟住嗰個。OK， 共通點先揾咗。OK。 上面呢個係掣嚟嘅 ，OK， 我哋睇四周圍先，咦呢
There
邊又有，
seems to be something missing here.
哦呢度應該有個搞啊，誒呢度係個音樂盒嗰個嗰啲樂譜啊，好咁啊見到啦，係樹葉、玫瑰花同埋雀仔。 咁就睇下邊個係第一個先。OK， 揾到啦，呢個係1，咁啊左下邊嗰度咧見到玫瑰花係1，2係樹，2係葉，3係雀仔，咁啊試試佢。玫瑰花係1，呢個係玫瑰花其實我唔知啊。試下，成功開咗啦，係咪開條搞棒出嚟咧？冇錯，如我所料。 好啦，嗱呢度咧，其實都睇到係有個提示喺度啊，咁啊係個樂譜嚟嘅，依家先翻嚟睇。好啦，我哋拎咗個去搞先，呢度放支入去。哦，明啦，我哋睇先，我哋聽一聽個歌先啦。 係咪咁轉啊？定咁轉啊？唔知，冇理佢。嗱，我哋睇翻先，記一記嗰個 pattern 先。好啦，拉出嚟。好啦，由低高嗱，呢個真係好意識啊！即係點樣令到自己記得就試試佢。 我試下唔用手機影低。 揾翻嗰個出嚟先，好似係咁上下喎，唔係，唔係，都唔係。啱咗，咁啊啱咗，咁啊成功解謎。撳掣，咦唔係喎，又唔啱，即係話呢仲有一個謎要解。哦，開咗再嚟，咩意思咧？呢度講有啲原因嘅，講有啲意思嘅。又睇睇先啊！見到啦，喺個底度啊，應該。見到啊，下邊，望翻先。嗱，下邊音符、星星、星球，對應翻上面嘅。哦，我應該係對翻嗰個。對翻個方向我估，啱咗，中咗，搞掂。好啦，咩嚟嘅咧？有個蛋咁樣，金蛋，有吊墜嗰度，後邊寫住咩 ？H 字頭。
Engraving written in, I believe, Russian Cyrillic.
俄文。
It looks like a first name.
咁啊，睇嚟 H， 睇嚟佢喎，開嚟睇下先。Helena 同埋唔識讀啊，素尼基、素尼亞、Sovia 定係 Solia 唔識。給我美麗的年輕小姐。
For my beautiful young ladies, Helena and Sonia. Helena with an H.
Helena.
It's Countess Andreni with an older girl.
Poirot.
翻咗嚟啦，好似係啊，聽到腳步聲，俾人鬧。
Monsieur, I am afraid shame is not a very helpful emotion for a detective trying to get at the truth.
What are you doing in our compartment?
I am investigating a murder. My apologies, monsieur, but your wife seemed in perfect health when she left the room to find you. I do apologize, but I needed to search your compartment.
You will regret this, Poirot.
Please, Count. You aren't going to challenge me to a duel, are you? Countess, I'm afraid I took the liberty of inspecting your little music.
中文字真係好似兔仔，係即刻兔仔。淘寶頸鏈
addressed to you and Sonia Armstrong, your older sister.
Sonia Armstrong， 佢就係
murdered child.
嚇。
I am a Hungarian diplomat. You have no official standing here. You have no right to search.
No, Rudolph. Let me speak. It's useless to deny what this gentleman says. I am Helena Goldenberg, the sister of Sonia Armstrong, and Daisy was my niece. The music box is a gift from my sister's godmother, a very close friend to my mother. We hid the truth from you when we learned that the man killed last night was the person who destroyed my family. I panicked. I didn't want to be accused.
That is also why you lied about the H in your first name?
Exactly. Your ferreting about looking for the H is obviously part of your investigation.
If I found a handkerchief in Monsieur Ratchet's room embroidered with an H, I might suspect you had...
A handkerchief? I don't have any handkerchiefs embroidered with my initial. To be honest, that sounds awfully old-fashioned to me.
你會唔會啊？大家會唔會喺手巾仔嗰度繡上自己嘅名？我都覺得好老土。你會擤鼻落喺手巾仔嗰度就繡我自己嘅名㗎。
The matter of the H on the handkerchief.
如果上大陸交收仲簡單，過關手提過關，坐高鐵。如果真係賣到大陸嗰個高價跟大陸價錢賣上高鐵去匯一匯佢如果賣得個高價靚價錢，我哋上大陸匯一匯佢，然之後即刻去打個靚邊爐，係咪慰勞大家？好啦，咩啊？唔識讀喎呢啲。利用白羅嘅俄語能力翻譯呢段文字，我都爭啲睇唔到點搞啊！咩 HATA 大佬HA 我唔知上定下都係俄文。好啦 T OK A 即係睇個 N， 其實冇乜照拼圖砌圖啫嘛，有幾難啊呢個？啱晒。Natalia
Would it be Natalia Dragomirov? She is the only Russian passenger on the train.
即係俄羅斯公主喎。
Her first name begins with an H in Cyrillic. That was easy.
That's what easy 啊，真係冇錯。公主係 Daisy 嘅教母，咁神奇嘅，啲關係好複雜喎。係時候揾佢啦。佢似乎係一個唔係好應付嘅咩啊嘅婦人。好啦，好似107就係佢啦。你好開門喎，阿婆好開門。
I am not prepared to receive anyone. Come back later.
I'm sorry, madam, but a man has been murdered. I must ask you a few questions.
You must have misunderstood me. I cannot speak to you just now.
Madame, I know that Sonia Armstrong is your goddaughter.
Goddaughter.
Come in, please.
即刻死狗入嚟。
Please forgive my intrusion, madame, but I really must ask you some questions.
成個 Winnie Westwood 咁樣。
I'll answer if it pleases me.
We have not been properly introduced, yet I have observed her a couple of times, so I can already deduce some things about her.
OK， 你推斷啊，睇睇佢。好啦，首先佢係一個俄國人啦，佢係政治人物啊嘛，好似係咪？26歲啊，一定噶啦。佢似幾多歲其實？51，你話佢似51，我又 OK。但係85又唔似咁老，試佢。又 no， 唔係真係85啊！即係話佢唔係政治人物喎。首先佢係咩人啊？佢係博物館館長，真係。原來佢唔係政治人物。我又啱。我問下佢不在場證明先。
Will you tell me your movements?
I went to bed just after dinner. I read until 11, then tried to sleep. Later I woke.
What caused you to awaken?
I suffer from back pain,
the
consequence of old age interfering with an active life. I called Schmidt around 12:45 a.m. to give me a massage. She did so until I fell asleep.
How long was she with you?
A good hour, I would say.
I see.
The first
initial of your first name, Natalia, in the Cyrillic alphabet looks exactly like the letter H in the Latin alphabet.
I'm Russian, Monsieur Poirot, and I was the head of a museum of antiquities in St. Petersburg for decades, until I moved to Berlin recently. I'm familiar with Cyrillic.
This handkerchief is yours, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. I lost it.
It was found in Monsieur
喺
Ratchet's
死者間
room.
房
Can
度揾
you
到
explain to
百
me
詞莫
why
辯。
Madame Schmidt didn't identify the handkerchief? She must have known it was yours.
Possibly to protect me. She is very loyal. Your next question will be, how did my handkerchief come to be lying by a murdered man's body? My reply to that is that I have no idea.
That
no
is
idea.
not an answer, madame.
It is all I am able to give you.
佢話佢唔知。
I must
我
tell
聽下
you, Princess
暗示同我
Dragomirov, I have discovered something astonishing.
And that is?
You are Sonia Armstrong's godmother.
You make that sound like a revelation. I have never hidden the fact, monsieur.
You knew Colonel Armstrong well, then?
I knew him slightly, but his wife, Sonia Armstrong, was my goddaughter. I was on terms of friendship with her mother, the actress Linda Arden. Linda Arden was a genius.
Linda Arden.
One of the greatest tragic actresses in the world. I was not only an admirer of her art, I was a personal friend.
Very
Personal
well.
friend.
But this links you to the Armstrong kidnapping case. Helena Andreni is the sister of Sonia Armstrong, the late mother of Daisy Armstrong, kidnapped and killed by the man who was murdered on this train, Ratchet.
Indeed. Was it he?
點解廚房會跌嘢
Then
嘅？
justice
我係咪睇
has
睇先？
not been served.
Allow me to summarize.
Do I have a choice?
First coincidence, I shall call it. You are close to the Armstrong family, and the presumed assassin of Daisy Armstrong was killed
咁啊，
while
順便
you
攞嘢
were
飲啦，
on board the
係我飲
ship.
嘢係咪？
Second coincidence. Your handkerchief happens to be found at the foot of the victim's bed. Third coincidence. One of the stab wounds inflicted on the body was by a left-handed person. You are left-handed. That is a lot of coincidences, Princess Dragomirov.
Well, Monsieur Poirot.
我覺得琴日你前日嗰啲講得啱，有機會佢係雙刀流。
Coincidence.
個蛋糕好睇唔好食？你呢嗰啲蛋糕係好睇啊，但係個心意緊要啦，好唔好食啊？再講啦，係咪先？要好食啊，自己整。買啊，梗係買靚嘅。
In the middle of the night like Lady Macbeth.
You are right, Princess. You could not work alone, which means you have one or
哇！已經直指佢係反喎。
and it is only a matter of time before I find out who they are.
I would appreciate it if you would remove yourself from my room and take your fantasies with you.
即係而家其實已經我哋偵探係假定咗係佢，睇睇先。跟住仲有一個。鸚鵡啊！呢啲故事啊，多數啲鸚鵡啊發揮奇效，通常都係雙刀流，係啊，冇錯，雙刀流，雙刀火雞捅佢。好啦，睇睇先。不在場證明彼此吻合嘅有邊啲人？好啦，佢咧有邊啲人啊？第一，佢福卡雷利，佢兩個傾偈啊嘛，佢就佢啦，佢就佢啦。隻雀一定係講咗臨死嗰啲遺言啊嘛，嗰啲啊，就係啲老土嘢。好啦，咁我可以同阿 Brooke 報告啦，佢先係我大佬。大佬。
Oh, Poirot, you're there. She hasn't moved, but she seems to be waking up little by little. What about you?
有進展啊，有進展。
I find myself helping everyone with their problems before they can help me with mine. I have shifted boxes, helped with hangovers, repaired an orange juicer, unlocked some Russian dolls, all so my investigation can proceed.
Don't forget the dessert recipe.
How can I?
Truly, the labors of Hercules.
My friend, I would rather clean out the Orgeon stables. Yet, I have managed to solve a few mysteries.
Oh, tell me everything.
叽哩咕嚕，叽哩咕嚕， 好啦，咁啊，第日刺繡手
The
卷先。
embroidered handkerchief belongs to Princess Dragomirov. I also found out that she was Sonia Armstrong's godmother.
On the same train with the little girl's murderer?
Exactly.
呢個世界真係奇怪。
Elena Andreni is the younger sister of Sonia Armstrong, Daisy's mother.
Another passenger connected to the Armstrong case?
個個都話關事。
What are the odds, do you think? But I cannot see either woman stabbing Ratchet over and over again in a frenzy. And they apparently have alibis.
OK。睇
I
睇
had
壞掉一
three
手，壞掉個
theories
錶。
concerning the broken watch. It could have been tampered with. It could have been out of adjustment before the murder.
我都覺得
Or,
係
of
做手
course,
腳嘅，
it could
即係
indicate
影響
the
嗰
actual
個
time of the murder.
嗰個
The
時
only
間，好似俾個答案
hypothesis I
你。
could rule out was
因為
that
其
the
實講真，隻
watch
錶
was out
係
of
咪一定要
adjustment.
壞？死
For the
死咗
others,
人係咪就一定
they
要壞
are
錶
not
咧？
possible to verify.
點解咁老土？
So the watch is of little use to the
嗰啲既定印
investigation.
象。
And I was convinced that it indicated the time of the crime. 2 women involved in the Armstrong case.
Let us not
即係佢哋而
forget
家鎖定呢個
our
兇手就係呢
There are three
個
women.
女人嚟嘅。
Look, she seems to be waking up.
佢寫啦，佢寫啦。
What's happening to me?
What's happening?
Did I fall asleep again?
Indeed, Mademoiselle Locke. Did you take
通
any
常都係刻意留低，
medication,
冇錯。
sleeping pills, for example?
No. I
我都話
never
咩
use
咯？
sleeping
上一
pills.
集都話
I
佢
inspected your cup.
俾人懟
You
咗
can
咗，
clearly
俾人懟咗呢
see
個
that
咩
there
啊？
is
嗰啲叫
residue
咩
of
鎮
something
靜
at the
劑。
bottom. I'm sure a lab test would
化驗
confirm
邊度有得
you
化？
were drugged. Most likely an overdose. That would explain your battle to shake off the effects.
You think Fräulein Schmidt did it?
She certainly had the most opportunity, but why would she?
But no one knew who I was. It's impossible that someone deliberately targeted me.
我睇睇先，用蒙太奇嘅手法。好啦，睇睇佢點解俾人落藥先。有2個人需要佢，最有可能對佢落藥嘅疑犯，其中一個就係呢個卓哥米羅夫人。第二個就係、咦，居然冇佢老婆，咁夏伯德太太
I do not
唔
think
啱，
that's the
兩個都
right
唔啱，
answer.
居然係，因為佢條靚喎，應該佢做嘅，另一個係佢。
Think, Poirot.
都唔啱
That is
喎。
not a good answer.
啊，會唔會係哈德曼
No,
先
no,
生咧？
no, no, not
我
good.
估親都錯啊！即係我冇加推理元素落去喎。點解咧？點解係福卡雷里？佢就係右下角就公主條靚啦，所以佢有權咁做啦。韋傑爾先生。
Schmidt or Monsieur Michel may have drugged the
哦，佢
tea,
講咗最有可
Mademoiselle
能性嘅，又唔係最有動
Fräulein
機。
Schmidt or Pierre Michel could have drugged your tea. They are really the only 2 people on this train who could have done it. But why would either one do it?
Mr. Poirot, I'm feeling much better.
係咯，佢兩個咩關
I'd like to
係？
bring you up to date to why I ended up on this train.
If you
佢又要
are
flashback 啦
able,
喎。
I would very much like you to finish your story.
Very well then. After the Daisy Armstrong case was officially closed, I put out a standing request to the police departments in the Boston area for anything on Michael Clark. But he didn't turn up on their radar. I even set up an anonymous tip line for news about Clark. That's how I met Braid, a sketchy contact on the dark web, but they found nothing I could use.
好啦，又睇佢講咩啦？
4 long years passed without anything new. Every day I looked at the evidence board I put up in my apartment bedroom. Then this morning, a police report.
佢好忙，一醒就用腦，係一醒就講嘢。
I paid a visit to the police property room and took home a box full of clues. There was his name. Michael Clark.
好，睇下先，展開調查。好，同埋警署攞啲逐個睇下啦。 哇！你咁 pro 喺屋企整啲乜嘢？驗屍官，唔係喎，直接連線噶咯喎，喂，大佬，理解下先。驗屍刺青呢個咩嚟㗎？我唔知咩嚟喎，你呢個死於胸骨左側第4肋骨心臟嘅衝擊咗.22口徑子彈。喺執法資料庫入邊咧揾唔到相符嘅資料啊！受害者嘅面部被大錘之類嘅嘢咧嚴重毀損啊，無法用於人面識別。喺資料庫入邊咧就揾唔到呢個受害者牙齒相符嘅資料添。嗰個指尖部分咧都被切除啊，就指紋都冇埋。咁令人驚訝嘅係咧，喺受害者右手手腕裏面咧揾到一個大約1平方英寸嘅紋身。咁啊喺資料庫都係揾唔到嘅。咁係咯，冇錯，大費周章。咁點解又唔喐佢紋身咧？係啱喎。好，呢個記住先啊。波士頓槍擊案，好啦，呢個就係嗰個槍擊案，睇睇先。好，因為男子嘅屍體被發現死咗喺波士頓郊區沃特頓附近嘅森林。嗱，波士頓呢個啱出現過㗎。致死原因近距離射出一粒子彈，面部被錘仔刻意毀容，咁啊仲有一張100元大鈔卡咗喺受害者個後腦入邊。嗰張鈔票已確認係屬於 Daisy， 係嗰啲銀紙就係嗰100萬美金贖金入邊嚟嘅，即係其實佢咧就係應該俾人滅口嘅人嚟嘅，似係。哇！呢啲之前睇過啦。呢個約翰啱斯唐，我睇到啲嘢喎。好，唔好理先。2020年6月7號，地方檢察官羅倫斯麥奎恩喺50歲時意外退休啦。Lawrence McQueen 呢個名咧就好有印象。根據佢家人講，自去年12月以嚟，McQueen 一直無法走出 Daisy 阿姆斯特案，並且可能因為犯案者未曾受到法律制裁而自責。身邊嘅人呢，成日聽到佢質疑自己點解當初唔進一步追究呢家案件。佢當時認定岩堂嘅保鏢Susan 莫羅係綁票兇手。同埋佢因為悔不當初而自殺，亦都使呢單案正式了結。呢個時候出現咗啲聲音批評咧，佢呢個判案不公啦，以及佢家人，尤其佢兒子支持佢做出呢個尋求提前退休嘅艱難決定。佢個位置則由地方檢察官阿瑟溫斯頓接住啦。上交會，這是我們社區的一位華盛頓和五角大回到家中嘅傑出市民。當被問及會議是否順利時，佢笑着話：太多上將啦。OK， 我睇睇先。佢都係叫 McQueen。佢話佢幾多歲啊？40歲。OK， 同名 McQueen 係個姓嚟㗎定名嚟嘅咧？唔會關事咧，好唔好理佢。工業標炳嘅約翰阿姆斯唐，上架同佢永遠戰勝唔到嘅敵人，喪親之痛，打最後一場仗啦。喺女兒俾撕票之後咧，佢冇咗妻子同早產夭亡嘅第二個仔。接住咧，殺害女兒嘅主要疑犯自殺，徹底剝奪咗佢追求公義嘅機會。喺嗰棟不幸嘅房子裏邊咧，對無限嘅空虛，自殺死埋。即係正式就真係叫做冚家亂彈。好啦。2020年6月7號，地方檢察官羅倫斯麥奎恩喺50歲時意外退休。根據家人講咧，自去年12月 咁咪睇過咯，呢個睇過咯，但係點解同呢個又唔同嘅？啲有筆喎，有筆。我反而佢印象係覺得呢個男人，你覺得呢個男人咧似唔似呢個男人啊？嗱，佢啱擺明係翻譯有問題啊！呢個啊，不過唔好理佢，睇下先。蘇神嘅逮捕令啦，因為呢個又睇過啦。通話記錄又有睇過啦。呢個人啦，但呢個好肥，都係嘅。好，睇埋其他嘢先。有封信啊。
A bill from the power company with, I'm sure, plenty of excuses why my rates keep going up.
煞有介事，以為係啲乜嘢？又電費。好啦，東方快車。
Travel for the discriminating traveler, also for the overworked detective who never seems to have time for vacation. Well, I can dream, can't I?
你估唔到自己都有嗱出名嘅話佢嗱就講佢就出現啦。贊助商嚟嘅，原來佢知名賽車手安東尼奧·福卡雷利。好，打開警察文件啦，逐頁睇下先。咁應該唔係同一個啦，唔知咧。2023年12月6號，偵察記者麥可克拉克嘅屍體啊，被發現埋咗喺佢位於波士頓郊入嘅後院。佢因為咧胸部中咗槍，根據屍體腐爛情況，估計死亡埋葬時間大約係喺2018年秋天，即係話其實佢一早死咗。
This is Michael Clark? He doesn't look anything like the journalist I interviewed. Michael, you have earned a place on my evidence board.
OK， 即係話其實嗰個克拉克係假扮嘅，我哋冇估錯啊。係啦，即係呢個先係，即係 OK， 明白理解啦。即係
no new leads in the Armstrong case, and then this Michael Clark.The sarcastic reporter, my prime suspect in the kidnapping, murdered 4 years ago? 明白嗱，明咗啲嘢啦，又多啲資料啦。哇，證物嚟喎，好逐個嚟先。鎖匙係嘛？綁票案嘅小木屋。鎖匙扣，咁睇下有啲咩先，冇乜特別啦。 The lab team found this keychain in the cabin, but they wouldn't have bothered to examine the keys once the
突然間覺得香港扣四28小時好有用，係啊，外國人權國家啊嘛，人權啊好緊要。香港都有人權嘅，48個小時內啊，即係唔可以無了期咁運啊。牛頭。有冇特別呢個？有啲嘢喺度嘅喎，有個北斗七星咁喺度喎。明白啦。左右左左右左。呢個古畫。小刀。
What do they call this? Brass knuckles? Knuckle dusters? Illegal in Massachusetts. Possession alone can lead to serious jail time.
呢啲暗器嚟㗎 ，OK， 有波波，又要解謎嘅，係咪？咁都咪要解嘅，刀仔鋸大樹。USB 係咪？ 嗰啲警察嗰啲咩鑑證科嗰啲廢嘅，
A
咁簡單嘅嘢。
USB key. Let's plug it into my PC and see what nasty little secret it contains.
OK， 有 USB 呢啲咁細隻係啲 mouse 嗰啲藍牙 USB 嚟嘅。
A USB key.
用到係 mouse 中嘅咯，高級。係有粒嘅白面色啊，呢個係咪啊？12面色。喂，又有暗器嘅喎，又有暗藏機關嘅喎。點啊？1、2，喂，2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9，係咪咁㗎？10。上次圖則見到啲玉米粒 USD 係咪啫？咩玉米粒 USD 啊？玉米粒 USB， 成日睇埋啲垃圾。呢個應該係密碼嚟嘅，好，冇理佢住。鎖匙，呢把鎖匙係刀仔嚟嘅喎，3569。你睇下，周圍都有刀嘅。
Key knife. They sell them on the internet for self-protection. Key knife. Key knife. Key knife.
好，
Key knife.
唔好再講
They
啦
sell them on the internet for self-protection.
喂。仿真飾物我會想買，廢嘅。3569。OK， 記住先，睇條鎖匙睇下有冇嘢先。冇啦，得呢條鎖匙。睇埋，唔係呢個。我要睇埋呢啲嘢先，呢個咪似係嗰啲咩啊？紅外線定還是係嗰啲咩電筒啊 ？flashlight， 好簡單，呢個個謎已經知點解啦。擰開佢，攞粒電啦，係咪啊？哇！突然間就話醒神乞嗤。紫外盾都可能係㗎，其實睇睇先。唔得嘅，有冇錯？有錯咩？有咩分別啊？開咗啦喎！哇！就係一把萬用刀，咁多萬用刀嘅。
A flashlight. They can also conceal knives, but in this case we have
可以傻，墨漆嚟㗎。OK， 即係呢古怪啊，成條鎖匙都古怪。點解咧？直播就好似病病地，係咯。會係我屋企就係咁。不過唔知係咪其實係可能個耳機嘅問題。毒藥啊？咩藥啊？係啊，定係毒藥自殺攞嚟，定還是攞嚟殺人？
bitter almonds, cyanide.
呢抽鎖匙就真係古靈精怪。好，呢度電腦位擺位風水唔好，我坐梳化打機嘅。好啦，呢個刀仔同埋防水膠布。
All that evidence and yet no DNA found.
冇得開睇啊！呢個冇得開睇。好，呢個玻璃樽係咪？啤酒定咩 ？Rock house 煙腸。
The only fingerprints found on the bottle were Suzanne's.
有呢個Susan 嗰個保姆嘅指紋。公仔啦 ，Fluffy。
Fluffy. Daisy's plush toy.
Fluffy 會唔會有嘢啊？唔好拎出嚟睇。我梳
Suzanne's hair, so conveniently left in the cabin for us to find.
係咯，
It was planted. I knew she was innocent.
你一早知係啊，馬後炮。OK， 呢箱嘢都睇完啦。揾到個蘇蘇。
I've earned a gold mustache.
OK， 睇下仲有冇其他嘢先。呢本
I've read
書
it probably 10 times.
係佢有帶佢睇喎。
But I can't get enough of it. Don't know why. Maybe because it helps me sleep.
咦，我屋企有貓喎，原來有養貓。
I don't have time to waste on magazines.
咁你又擺到，好睇。而家影張相啊，睇下攞神力先。OK， 係咪可以玩下貓先？
I know I have to stop printing. It's bad for the planet.
電腦插落去，哦
Shaved off the metro beard. But I'd recognize that smug
金色白廁所係彩蛋嚟㗎，係即係每一關都有幾個咁樣，你可以執嗰啲隱藏嘢。不過我冇執到，我冇專登都係執，唔知會 miss 咗啲咩。係另一隻 game， 係冇錯，嗰隻貓 game。
Absolutely nothing on this Cassetti. His driver's license is almost surely a fake.
一堆錢啊！咦？嗰個手啊，見到紋身啦。
Shaved off the metro beard. But I'd recognize that smug bastard anywhere. The man I interviewed 4 years ago posing as Michael Clark.
嗰隻 The Cat 咧，我玩落麻麻地，有啲悶。
Maybe they needed to show the ransom to someone. To check if the serial numbers were still on record. I'll print them, and on the wall they go.
OK， 即係個 serial number。
Shaved off the shaved off the metro beard. But I'd recognize that smug bastard anywhere. The man I interviewed 4 years ago. Shaved off the man I interviewed 4 years ago. Shaved man I interviewed. Shaved off the man I interviewed. Shaved off the man I interviewed. Shaved off the metro the man I interviewed 4 years ago, posing as Michael Clark.
淨係啫，唔係啊！佢有主線嘅，佢係有個主線嘅，但係我覺得用隻貓玩唔有趣咯。
I knew it. The faces don't match at all. They are clearly two different men. I should run facial recognition on my computer. So, Ratchet's real name was Cassetti.
哦，即係呢個可克拉克就係 Richard 喎。OK， 即係佢就係嗰個記者就車上面嗰就係列車上面嗰個死者喎。紋身對呢個。
Tattoo is the same on both pictures.
被殺害的 Daisy 綁匪。唔關事。好，人面偵測啊嘛，試下。
Okay. The real Michael Clark has been dead for years. Let's see if the photo of the fake Michael Clark matches someone in the database of known criminals. I've tried this several times in the past few years, but came up empty. Maybe whoever he really is has finally made a mistake.
就空比對啊
That could be him, but he looks pretty different. Come on, Joanna. That's a rookie mistake.
哦。哦。
No, No, this isn't it.
而且唔似啊，係咯。嚇？係咪㗎？係咪轉㗎？耳朵額頭四個，得4個啫喎，照片有十個。
Yes, he seems different at first glance, but still, it's the same person.
你嚇？你講嘅啫喎，屌！
All right.
頭髮係啊。
I don't need Mr. Poirot to tell me I'm wrong.
哦。
Good.
哦，佢有咩唔
He's
同？
changed his appearance a
唔係有
lot.
咩糖？
Probably had
頂
some
你個
plastic surgery on
肺！
his nose, but there is no doubt it's the same person. Let's see why he was arrested.
真係玩。OK。2023年11月23號，亞美尼亞葉里溫機場被捕，佔有呢個被盜古代文物。Winnie 可唔可以 WhatsApp 咧 send 而家你直播條 link 俾我？我自己揾唔到咯，衰。
Mr. Ratchet, you didn't just steal statuettes. What recent information does the database have on you?
OK， 佢就係啦。
It's so frustrating. I have a name, but I can't find anything about him. But I know just who to call.
即刻打電話。
Robot Defense League, we are monitoring this call.
Hello, Braid. Long time.
Oh, Joanna.
Joanna.
Hey, how may I assist you?
I need you to search the dark web.
Yeah, can you narrow that down a little? Because, it's pretty big and pretty dark out here.
Could you find intel about a Samuel Ratchet?
Samuel Ratchet.
Got it. Bad dude?
They don't come worse.
They
Send me what
don't
you
come
find by
worse.
email.
Alright, hang on. Okay. Yeah, okay. Nope. And... okay. Oh, this might
It's about
be something.
We
We gotta do a deeper dive, but you should find this interesting. Could be coincidence if I believed in them. Emailing details.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
We're here to save mankind. Oh, it's a cookbook.
好，收 email 啦。但係仲有其他嘢未 search 嘅，譬如呢個 no result，OK。睇睇啦，來自布雷德嘅電子郵件，佢講張飛啦，張車飛喎。條尾會喐。好啦，睇張飛先。
The Orient Express. I'm gonna print these tickets and put them on the board.
有印。搜尋東方快車嘅相關資訊。OK， 會唔會喺呢度關到事呢？Switch 雷傑特 McQueen 嗱好啦McQueen 先
The person traveling with Ratchet has
係個姓啊，真係關事啊個姓。
District Attorney during the Armstrong case.
OK 嗱個姓係關事嘅。地方檢察官同佢嘅女伴係同性，但即係嗰個 Richard 其實都有嫌疑啊！原來，好啦，睇下呢個先。Masterman 馬斯特文，愛德華馬斯特曼嘅東方快車車票，佢就一定佢㗎啦。
This is Ratchet's ticket.
係 Masterman。睇睇先，有冇人姓 Masterman 係呢個嘛？係啦，呢條友啦，真係關事喎原來。嗱呢個一定關事㗎啦，呢個唔知關咩事啫。好啦，睇睇先，都係嘅，伊斯坦堡啊。張飛呢個張飛就好似冇乜問題，贖金嘅照片。唔知關咩事，唔知關咩事住，睇下先。唔會呢度有東方快車嘅嘢？呢度有冇啊？記唔記得？好似都冇啊。USB check 咗啦。USB 再睇一次 USB 好啊。喂，唔係喎，佢而家 search 可以 search 個 McQueen 啫喎，睇睇先。OK，佢就係嗰個檢察官個仔，呢個人係檢察官個仔。OK。
I knew it. He's the son of my former DA. He goes on the evidence board.
咁啊有古怪啦，咁啊成件事就唔係咁簡單啦。
Here's what Hector McQueen looks like.
即係古怪嗰個位就係、個檢察官咧，就因為呢度呢個要睇到啦。檢察係咪先？去翻嗱，檢察官咧就佢一直走唔出呢個的士岩士堂嘅綁票案嗰度啊，並且認為咧犯案者未曾受到法律制裁而自責。咁啊，身邊嘅人咧提啦，就係佢咁嘅情況，所以佢咧就提早退休。尤其個仔啊，嗱見到有家人，尤其個仔支持佢做出呢個尋求提前退休嘅艱難決定。係啦，咁個問題就係個仔咧就McQueen 咧。個 McQueen 咧，即係黃衫咧 ，McQueen 咧，佢就話自己唔知佢呢個人，即係呢個人原來發生過呢單嘢嘅。係啊，佢話佢唔知啊，呢個就係問題啊。但係其實原來佢知啊，因為佢係佢個仔啊。
Hector McQueen is the son of District Attorney McQueen.
係啦。所以個問題就喺呢度啦。呢張飛有咩問題咧？睇下先。呢張飛係唯一一個未揾到問題嘅，就係嗰個馬斯特文。馬斯特文。再睇下電腦先。USB。吉娃娃你好。嗰個馬斯特文有咩問題咧？嗱，而家爭少少嘅啫喎。嗱，呢個咧未 check 嘅，即係呢個係咩咧？因為男仔屍體被發現死咗喺波士頓郊區，致死原因咧就係近距離射擊啦，俾人毀容。仲有一張百元大鈔卡咗喺死者喉嚨，嗰張鈔票已確認係屬於 Daisy 嗰單嘢嘅一張美金。喂，手掣又冇電，都叉唔到電，叉成日都。哎呀，新嘅手掣，唉，用我舊嘅先。係啦。OK， 即係有個咁嘅問題就係呢張有冇得睇嘅 ？NA2151咩乜嘅 S 先啊？又唔會揾到㗎啦，好老實。好啦，會唔會真係咁樣睇到咧？放大嚟睇，嗰啲就應該唔關事。但係呢個咧，好啦，被殺害嘅綁匪，你諗呢個綁匪啊，到底關咩事啊？驗屍報告係啦，點解冇喐嗰個刺青？嗰個刺青嚟講咧係一隻嘢。呢個刺青係咪牛頭？再加個角。昨天被發現死亡。似啊嘛，但係點關咩事咧？睇多次先。因為佢話刀仔咁啊呢個。
What do they call illegal in Massachusetts? Possession alone can lead to
抽鎖匙係邊個？好似冇講，鎖匙係邊個？喺間木屋入邊啫，同嗰人有關係。睇多次個粒色先，一樣。
What do we find? A capsule.
呢個就係柯南啊，成日攞嚟殺人嗰粒啊，杏仁味嘅毒藥。柯南入邊啲故事。好啦，呢個有少棘。
I know I have to stop. I knew it.
103。睇睇先。
The Orient.
毛利先生係啊，冇錯，固定嘉賓，基本嘢。冇得亂嚟喎，逐個睇下先。通話記錄。number 斯坦可唔可以掃個 QR code 睇下？掃嗰個 QR code 自己望一望咩事？等陣先，唔係。實溫斯頓。誒，佢男朋友好似叫阿瑟喎。咦，亂撳落去到，哇，應該係仲有啲嘢未揾到。
So clever. Oh.
好，係未揾到咩事嘅。係咪要出門口散下心先？諗一諗先。其實有提示，但我唔想睇提示喎，咁蠢喎。
Shaved off the metro beard. But I'd recognize that smug bastard anywhere. The man I interviewed 4 years ago posing as Michael Clark. Maybe they needed to show the ransom to someone to check if the serial numbers were still on record.
Oh. Okay. 唔係，你俾邊個睇啊？話要俾人睇 佢話要俾人睇，俾佢睇，唔係喎。邊個係警察呢度？呢度冇人警察。好，呢個瀝瀝地係咪我問題？好似係個畫面低咗，低清係嘛？我 check 一 check 先，可能有機會斷一斷線啊 ，check 一 check 先。check 先啊 ，check 個網絡係咩事先？我行緊 LAN 嘅喎，應該突然之間，未揾到咩原因，聲有時斷斷地，而家有冇好啲？哎呀，咩原因？而家有冇好啲？好啲 ，OK 好啦，正常 OK。我哋2018年秋天，死咗幾年啦？會唔會係錢連去張車飛？連去呢張？要睇睇先，其實佢太多 number 我決定試下攞電話連個 QR code 上去。佢會 scan 唔到呢個 QR code 喎。好似 McQueen 嘅嘢都冧晒，睇下先。MC 我有啲唔識啦已經。係咪羅夫睇提示？做羅夫睇提示。 係啊，誒，點解佢又練到佢？不過都冇幫助。三雙連埋一齊咁點咧？錢
As Ratchet is alive, the dead man can only be Noah.
即係話俾自己聽，佢死咗啫。OK。The dead man be Laura 羅亞。Laura 就係嗰個佢男朋友，佢男朋友。Susan 個男朋友。係咯，受害者係 Laura。其實我知啊，但我係唔知咁樣撳啫。OK。咁 Laura 同邊個有關係 ？Laura 同 Daisy 就同佢冇關係啦。Daisy 同佢都冇關係啦。Daisy 同 McQueen 都冇關係啦。電話記錄，佢同邊個講電話？電話記錄。1413524140，唔關事啊。search 下 Laura 先，冇得 search 佢。呢個係卡關喎，佢有提示但唔想睇喎。睇一睇佢關係先。呢兩個人隨從。係啊，因為 channel 改名。係啊，McQueen 改 McQueen 訂連翻晒一齊先。McQueen 訂嘅。咁 OK，咁即係話 McQueen 係應該係知佢係邊個。如果收音師係同性戀者就係收音機。OK， 俾啲掌聲佢。俾掌聲佢。 我哋一齊俾啲掌聲自我啊！開心。係，請為呢個笑話評分。咁關到 Daisy 咩事呢？
The DA resigned soon after the Armstrong case. It haunted him just as it has haunted me.
哇！拉闊啲睇下先，隻貓，好，收音 less 點算？OK， 呢個諗收音機，收音 less。LGBT 2018年2018年好似喺邊度見過2018年好，放棄啦，睇提示啦，我哋都係，好唔好啊？垃圾啲，睇唔到啊，又唔俾我撳，佢又北咗，又唔俾我撳。
Fluffy。
連想睇提示都唔俾喎。
I knew she was innocent.
都未卡夠2個鐘 ，OK， 你啱。
Key knife. This key knife.
尊重。哎呀，我有啲唔知喎都，睇下先，係咪呢個波仲有嘢搞㗎？冇咯。有冇咩諗法？大家
I've read it maybe
有冇咩想法咁樣？即係對於嗰件事入邊。
The Orient Express departs from Istanbul next week. Interesting.
屌
I'll put it on the board.
屌
The event? Some old train.
屌
But that face, that man.
改粗口，真係呢本雜誌。OK， 真係嗰個人嚟㗎。Winnie 呢個人啊，呢個人啊，呢個人啊， 呢個車手啊，應該係佢啊。
I know that face.
係啊。
That's John Armstrong's driver.
嗰個人係呢條友，原來仲要係John Armstrong 嘅司機。哇！所有人都關事㗎呢個車上面。呢個車所有人都關事。
Next week, a certain Edward Masterman will be on the Orient Express. Hector McQueen will be on the Orient Express next week.
全部人佢都會搭車。
Ratchet will be traveling on the Orient Express in a week.
OK， 佢都會去。
Oscarelli will be on the Orient Express next week.
每一個人都會去。東方快車唔關呢件事。咁點咧？每個人都會去，咁點咧？又要上網 search 下佢先，係咪？唔係喎。呢個冇嘢啊！如果唔係有人做局，我真係唔會信咁多個會咁。批鬥大會就係批鬥大會。唔通啱讀藥師
What do we find? A capsule and a smell. Bitter almonds. Cyanide.
OK， 而家我諗呢度令我好似老化，呢個年紀有少少㗎啦。仲有啲乜嘢咧？東方快車咁又點咧？哦，唔通係咁樣？又唔係喎，並不是喎。佢係佢司機咁點咧？佢係佢司機咁點先？好，諗下先。檢察官，佢係佢司機，佢係佢司機，佢係佢司機，佢係岩士堂嘅司機，佢係岩士堂嘅司機，即係佢識 Daisy？唔係，喂，唔係咁樣，唔係。唔通佢係佢？又唔係喎，屌！咦，唔係喎，唔係喎。我記得有份口供講過，佢呢個 Susan 嘅男朋友。唔係，司機夾埋個仔叫齊人開正義審判大會，即係佢？唔係啊，佢死咗。 假記者，4年前見到嗰個，佢 Richard， 如果佢就係 Richard。Samuel Richard， 亞美尼亞被捕。咁先，仲差2個。
Goodbye, Michael Clark. Hello, Samuel Ratchet, the man who stole your identity and your life.
我知啊呢個。
Damn, Ratchet is taking the Orient Express next week.
McQueen, 我知喎，有嗰啲嘢。就係爭條線。
The Armstrong chauffeur is too. It can't be a coincidence. McQueen and Foscarelli must have decided to take revenge and will undoubtedly attack Ratchet on this train. I have to be on the Orient Express to stop them. And above all, I must stop Ratchet. But I can't do it in Istanbul because there's no extradition treaty with the United States. Ratchet can never be judged in the US without an extradition treaty. I'll have to wait until he's in Paris to have him arrested.
係啱嘅，係即係而家諗咗新嘢，佢又要連翻條線，唉。佢需要張車飛，點樣有張車飛啊？上網買啦係嘛？訂飛。
Every compartment is taken for this special anniversary journey. Oh, it's impossible to find a ticket. What can I do?
係啊，冇錯。啱卡關嗰個位就係因為其實我係知咗，但係即係遊戲邏輯啊，我哋冇諗過嗰個遊戲機制。好，我哋等下香港人一定買黃牛飛，或者揾人買車飛，或揾人買車飛就係都係香港人做嘅，而兩個都係有共通點啊。黃牛飛同埋揾人買飛都係多數咧，香港都係有少少，我唔係種族歧視，係講現象啫。就都係香港有一啲南亞人去做嘅。
Let's find out who's traveling on the Orient Express. Time to call Braid.
又係布雷德，又打電話俾隻兵。揾隻兵幫手。
Braid, it's me again.
I haven't found anything useful yet.
I need one last favor. But it's a big one.
Uh-oh.
Can you find me the list of passengers of the Orient Express for that anniversary trip?
Hold on. Jeez, their IT is surprisingly good. Maybe because of the big event. I found the list, but they sealed my back door as I was starting to capture it.
Oh,
calm down. I got one name. Female. The name I got before they kicked me off the server was Stacy Johnson. Do you feel like a Stacy Johnson?
The question is, how is she going to feel about helping me?
That's one you'll have to figure out for yourself.
So
I
they
gotta
want
go back
Stacy.
to weaving my magic on the web.
Miss Stacy Johnson. 出門口係嘛？佢唔係喎，又要揾啲電話。喂，咁麻煩，要揾佢嗰個人，唉，上網揾係咪？警察大晒，有晒所有人資料。哦 ，OK， 就係佢美國個演員。 佢係俾邊個落鎮定？唔知，未知。
Hello, is this Stacy Johnson?
Who's asking?
My name is Joanna Locke. I'm a police detective.
And I'm just an actress. Now what did I do wrong?
Nothing. I need your help. I need to take your place in the Orient Express.
Is this a joke? No way.
嚇佢。
Do you remember the Armstrong kidnapping?
Of course
我
I
已經
do.
戒咗，太遲
That
啦。
poor little girl.
I'm a police officer. I have a new lead that may help me find her killer.
Wait, didn't they prove it was the nanny?
呢個就係真相
I
學
have
我新
found
證據。
compelling new
我
evidence.
哋
I've
做
reopened
警
my
察
investigation.
You know,
第
I
一件
had
事
my
就係要
doubts
俾人
about
要
the
誠
murder of
實
the nanny. I played a nanny a couple
要
years ago in a
忠
slasher.
誠
I
嗰個
was killed in
誠
the
啊，
first
知唔知啊？
episode, but
忠誠勇毅嗰個
I'm
誠，
interested in helping kids.
我哋一定要有。
Stacy, please. You say you help kids?
Well, I joined a couple of associations who are trying to help underprivileged kids. If this little girl's real killer is still out there somewhere, I'd do anything I could to help.
去幫手啦
Getting。me on that train will help more than you can imagine.
So, you want my ticket for the Orient Express? But I booked it months ago.
警
I
察，我
was so
直
much
升機
looking
送你過
forward
去。
to this trip.
Stacy, I can tell you care
我哋
about
動
kids.
之以情。
Here's your chance to help put this beast in prison for the rest of his life. Think of the publicity for those causes you care about. Think about the kids.
The kids. Yeah. All right. We'll do
嗱，
it for
忠誠
Daisy
勇
and the
毅，
kids
我哋
who
啊
said,
達
I'll
成咗
take care of
誠
changing
同
the
埋
tickets to your
勇啦
name。and send it to you. Get him. Make him pay.
I will. Thank you so much.
我哋成功徵用咗張飛啦，好嘢！好，出門口啦，係咪？係出門口。
Stacy was as good as her word. I received the ticket. I called my chief to let him know I was taking my vacation time.
仲要請大假。
I flew to Istanbul. I was finally going to nail the monster responsible for Daisy Armstrong's death, Michael Clark's death.
TVB 以前啲戲徵用你架車，冇錯啦。
Suspected so many
截個的士佬就同佢講，追住前面架車。 誒，貌似，喂，又話揾點解俾人催眠嘅？加搞下夜晚7點。
And that's how I found myself on this train. On Ratchet's trail. The rest, you know. My identity is easily checked with the Berkshire Police.
Thank you for your detailed account, Mademoiselle Locke. In addition to
哇，呢
giving
度
us
都幾
crucial
漫長
details
啊！
of the investigation, you have made it clear that there are many who might wish to see Ratchet dead.
係啊，成車人都想去死。洛克小姐係清白之人嘅嫌疑犯，又要瞓一陣。可唔可以即刻斷定佢就係清白呢？可以嘅，其實。
I know you are innocent. Your forthright testimony and your movements, or lack of them, last night eliminate you from our list of suspects.
I agree, without
係
a
啊，agree。
doubt.
你都亂鳩，sorry 講咗粗口，你都亂狗咁諗嘅。
Although my friend certainly does not need any help.
You are too kind.
Thank you for believing me. I'd
好
like to
啦，
help in any way I can.
玩到呢度嗱，呢個我會繼續落去嘅，但係咧呢一刻我要去個洗手間先，因為咧呢段時間咧都係坐咗喺度咧，就係忍咗好耐嘅，咁啊去廁所先，睇埋佢講呢段對白先。
Both Monsieur Michel and Fraulein Schmidt had the means and opportunity to drug you. While you get your strength back,
仲未醒啊？你搞成日㗎咯喎！
Excellent idea, my friend. All this excitement has
我肚餓啦，食飯係咪？
I'm sure Mademoiselle Locke won't say no to a good, invigorating meal.
What? No. I want to hear what the conductor and Fräulein Schmidt have to say for themselves.
It is my duty to ensure the well-being of the passengers. If Dr. Constantine has no objection, I will escort you to the restaurant car.
On the
一
contrary,
齊食飯啦！
some food will do her the greatest.
搞咗成日都未食過嘢。
I'm still a little shaky. Mr. Poirot, will you please keep me
食
informed
飽
about
繼續
what
瞓，
you
冇
learned?
錯，食
you
飽再
may be
瞓。
certain of it.
好，咁啊呢度暫停一陣，咁啊俾幾分鐘我去個洗手間先。 係好啦，翻嚟啦。嗱，呢一刻而家已經直播咗咧，我哋嘅直播時間係2個鐘。咁好啦，俾大家選擇。雖然所謂大家都係得你兩個嘅，繼續玩落去，定還是我哋直播其他遊戲，輕鬆少少。係啦，如果係啦，冇所謂嘅，兩樣都得，我都有興趣繼續落去嘅。又或者其他 game 嚇咁啊，喺諗嘅途中咧，就繼續先啦。發現新謎團啊，係邊個殺咗佢？咁我哋而家繼續落去先啦，喺未有答案之前，咁啊去餐卡，中間又可以順便揾下有冇胡鬚仔，有咩 game？玩緊落去嘅都好多，咦？佢喺度啊
All that snow.
Are you familiar
有
with
好
the
多，
concept
但係
of
都想玩啲關於查案，因為查案落去之後咧會同大家玩查案 game 嘅，我都想直播一系列嘅查案 game。
Yes,
大
unpredictable.
雄啊，
Even the
我想
best
睇個
laid
結局
plans
，OK？
can go
咁我
astray
既然有人
thanks to
想睇結
something
局，就繼續落去好冇？
An unexpected passenger?
Perhaps, or snow.
喺度賣關子啊！唔即刻篤穿佢。咩話火車仔
Book is a collector,
哦
and
，book
not surprisingly, he collects trains.
呢架火車咁靚嘅噗小火車。呢啲音樂咧就係我成日都話聽完啲音樂咧即刻想咩㗎啦？
I didn't mean to
唔係
disturb
想
you,
瞓覺
Doctor.
啊，
Everything progresses satisfactorily.
係啦。兩個人只有爭鬥，3個人就係政治。雖然我成日都做呢啲，但係都係唔好成日睇埋呢啲垃圾。想飲返杯咖啡，係想約你上樓飲杯咖啡。TVB 劇情送完人返屋企就一定係問人哋有冇興趣上嚟飲杯咖啡。明明屋企都冇咖啡機，只有雀巢。一片空白。
I have nothing to ask them at the moment. I should leave them alone.
叫你食飯啦，要行過好心 ，ladies 食飯啦。都係冇八字鬚鬚嘅喎，啲胡鬚仔嘅喺邊度？係咪攞齊佢就有啲咩特別嘢？梗係有啲嘢解鎖嘅呢啲 game， 但係佢攞齊啲胡鬚仔又好似又冇乜話，對劇情有影響。
Good evening, Fräulein Schmidt. May I disturb you for a moment?
You asked so politely, mein Herr, but I do not think I have a choice.
直接屈佢，直接老屈，婉轉啲定老屈？嗱，我哋有兩個選擇，俾大家選擇，婉轉定係玩老屈。一係就直接話佢講婉轉啲，阿洛克小姐啊醒咗啦，睇咩反應。第二個選擇就直接同佢講你啊，直接指住佢個頭就話你落藥。我哋揀邊個？今次俾大家選擇。嗱，我心中有一個票啦，有定案㗎啦。咁啊，我自己計自己一票。咁啊，睇下你兩個婉轉 ，OK。先禮後兵，前面禮出而家兵啦。OK， 即係你兩個各自各抱一個唔同嘅態度啊。 我就覺得都係直接指佢個頭，落藥係你做嘅。
I know you drugged
試
Mademoiselle
一試佢，
Locke's
先屈佢
tea.
先。
Don't try to deny it.
Nevertheless, I do deny it.
佢好型喎。好唔該，
I
咁啊
wanted to
婉
let
轉
you
啲
know
啦。
that your roommate, Mademoiselle Locke, is awake.
Ah, yes, I'm glad to hear that. I was worried about her. Did she tell you what had happened to her?
如何開啟有關安眠藥嘅話題？我指住洛克小姐睇到你喎，講明係你喎，又老屈係咪？繼續老屈。杯子裏有殘留物，我哋建基於事實啦。佢話杯子裏有殘留物。
Unfortunately, she doesn't remember much, but we found a residue of a sleeping pill in her cup of tea. Since you two were alone together in your room when she drank it, who else but you could have dragged her?
Must I point out I do not make the tea on this train? You should question the conductor or the kitchen staff.
其實佢嘢有意思，新聞女王個編劇有睇書㗎，咁係實有睇書㗎啦。如何讓斯米特小姐認罪？你有安眠藥咯。
I know you have sleeping
係啊，
pills, Fräulein.
I do have some.
你有同
Do you
房，
think I'm
你又
the
有安
only
眠藥喺
person on
身。
this train who finds it difficult to sleep? I believe the Countess Andreni takes it. I heard the Olsen woman thanking Mrs. Hubbard for a pill.
That was aspirin.
If you say so.
If you say so。 你睇死
Mademoiselle
咗啊！
Locke could have died. Whoever drugged her must not feel any empathy for their fellow human beings, given the dose that Mademoiselle Locke ingested. She was close to death.
Oh my God.
你認啊認啊，
I didn't
指
want
住
to
佢頭
hurt
係認
her.
啊。
Just have her sleep for a few hours while we had time.
We?
We?
Time for what?
哇！
Time
劇情
for
180度反轉，
You think I
突
feel
然間佢
nothing?
承認。
Nothing? That poor little girl.
Indeed, that poor little girl. Fräulein Schmidt is somehow connected to the Armstrong case.
佢望有關事嗱，佢又有問題啦。斯米特小姐同岩士堂案之間會有咩關聯呢？喂！喂！突然間一下劇情去到咁啊，估啦！佢係佢嘅女看，佢係索尼亞亞姆士堂嘅女看護，唔啱，唔中，咁唔緊要啦，只有兩個，老屈就得㗎啦，呢兩個女看護係錯咗啊！我都估係女看護，點知錯？一係佢就係米羅芙公主，即係嗰個80幾歲阿婆 Winnie Westwood 嘅廚師，因為佢係佢嘅廚師咯，都錯。唉，佢全部都垃圾仔，結果到最尾只有一個答案，真相只有一個啊！我真係聰明，原來佢哋係岩士堂屋企嘅廚師，輕而易舉啊！佢
Fräulein
話。
Schmidt, I have a certain reputation for sniffing out.
I am not a murderer.
Forgive me, but I was
Voilà,
going
dis
to
là.
say brilliant chefs. You were the Armstrong family's cook, were you not?
Yes. I was the cook
成
of that
成車人都
lovely,
關事
lovely
嘅。
family. I'm sorry, but I must ask you to give me some time to collect
成車人都冇個係
myself.
無
It
辜啊！
wasn't
原
supposed
來
to be like this. My darling, my poor darling child.
I will give you that time, Fräulein. You have given me much more in exchange. I must check in with my other suspects to make certain I have all the pieces of the puzzle in my
黐孖筋，成車人都冇個無辜，咁狗肉嘅。米奇先生文話：係啊，佢都有機會落藥，但係佢認咗咯喎，問唔問啊？都要問㗎啦。比對證供，你又唔關事㗎。邊個出手咩啊？出手乜嘢？
Soon, Monsieur
出手
Fauchet,
殺人係
with
咪
pleasure.
知嘅？
When the matter is resolved.
到而家都未有一個好直接明確嘅指向呢個兇手嘅一個無論動機證據，定係一人刀一下，全車人排住隊吉佢一刀，係咪？
Jean, you've mixed everything up again. Oh, I can't find the coffee liqueur for tonight's dessert.
咁拖到全車人一人捅佢一刀，係大家都有份啊！睇你拉邊個？係咪啊？成車人一人捅一下，咁啊大家有份，大家都冇份啊！因為證實唔到邊一刀先係致命啊！呢個好好嘅咩啊？呢個係一個好好嘅殺人方式，我可唔可以咁講啊？算唔算好啊？即係起碼即係幾多分之一嘅坐監機會。
You can never have too many of these.
咁啊，同法官講，佢呢啲人抵死啊！抵死啊！每個人捅佢一刀。我哋係正義。上次對刀痕咁多個傷口，係喎，有錢有心喎嚇，有啲係深啲，有啲係淺啲，真係有機會喎。每個人捅一刀啊，個個都唔關事，為睇下佢食幾多嘢。搞錯。
You're right, Mr. Book. This dessert is delicious. I'm glad we didn't wait for dinner.
I promise the entrée will be superb as well.
Detective Locke, you are recovering well, I see.
Yes, I should be helping with the investigation. Do you know who drugged me?
It is early.
正義判官，冇錯冇錯，中數，大家都係判官。
She is in good hands. Hotaru, Freya, and yours truly are looking after her.
係唯一好似有啲廚師唔關事喎，唯一好似阿 Brooke 同埋阿廚師係完全唔關事，食完有瞓，係呢生活寫照一樣。最爽就係咁啊！食完瞓覺，又煮啦，入去睇下有冇胡鬚仔先。做咩？打開個攞嘢飲係咪？攞嘢飲先。胡鬚仔揾到啦。
Come to Poirot, my exquisitely sculpted friend.
Not now.
Not now.
I have a dinner to prepare. Would you interrupt Michelangelo or Da Vinci?
Michelangelo 唔知咩嚟。我冇胡鬚仔，爭呢一關爭一個胡鬚仔。唔會廁所。點啊？而家去邊啊？301號房係咪啊？咦？哦，係佢啊，冇錯，係佢間房，係時候審問嚟啊！咦
？Good evening, Michel. Am I bothering you?
閂門嚟
You
緊。
seem stressed.
With everything that's going on, I must admit it's difficult to be relaxed.
隔離有人喎，邊個？
I understand. Especially since we know that Detective Locke's tea was drugged before it was served
喂，
to her.
佢又關事喎，突然間。
Come now, Michel. Surely you would
Calm
have
down.
taken the opportunity to search her things and found her badge. Luckily, she woke up and was finally able to tell us her story.
Hotaru boiled the water, Jean made the tea. I just brought it.
人哋做嘅，肯定
There
係。
been any of this staff.
Your defense is to accuse others?
電話響，唔好意思，阿 Sir， 我聽一聽電話先。哦，冇啦，已經出
You
賣
have
咗你啦
a。network connection?
No, unfortunately. It's just an automatic reminder to pay my rent. I always forget, and my landlord complains.
Pierre Michel had to be involved in the murder. The drugged tea, his post at the end of the hall, and now I know why I
記
know
得啊，係
more
啊，
than
手機
one
畫
of
面嗰個人
those
啊，
people on the screen.
有關事嘅，真係連個廚師都關事㗎啦。即係所有人都關事。好啦，左邊嗰個咪就係你 Pierre Michel 咯。 中間嗰個 Susan， 右邊嗰個都記得啊，我連右邊嗰個咧就係嗰個私家偵探啊，塞勒斯哈德曼，一早識嘅原來。
You are the father of Suzanne Moreau, Daisy Armstrong's nanny. My condolences
佢就係
on the
佢阿
death
爸。
of your wife.
What? But my wife...
Enough lies. Suzanne does not bear your name?
No. Suzanne's mother and I were divorced. Suzanne kept her mother's name.
My most sincere condolences, Monsieur Michel, on the deaths of Suzanne and your wife.
I loved them, but I was never there for them. Then, a year after the divorce, Solange became ill. Suzanne took her to the special hospital in the U.S. Got that job as Daisy's nanny.
I understand your pain. And
哇，
the
撲朔迷
reason
離，
that
每個人都
led
關
you
事。
to drug detective luck.
We really can't hide anything from you, can we?
Many have been foolish enough to try and keep the truth from Hercule Poirot.
Yes, I admit, I drugged the tea. But it was only to keep her quiet until I could...
如果你哋中意睇查案 game 咧，其實我可以重玩一隻咧，我好中意嘅，就係呢個槍彈辯駁啊！
That she didn't die.
日文名叫彈丸論破。
There was one more thing that puzzled me, but I think I understand now.
好啊，哈德曼先生同埋呢個米歇爾先生係咩關係？哈德曼先生同米歇爾先生基嘅，直接話係基嘅，我有未來女婿啦。係啊，冇錯，超高中級。其實我已經爆過㗎，但係就覺得呢嘢係好好玩嘅遊戲。咁我都忘記晒劇情啦，下次係可以再一次玩嘅。
I almost consider Cyrus as my own
冇錯，
son.
收音機。
Of course, much more is clear now. I have been patient long enough. It is time to go and see what all the commotion is next
隔
door.
離咩聲？冇錯。原來佢走唔到。
Hardman, excellent. The gods who watch
黑海
over
賴啊嘛，咩賴
detectives
啊嘛？
must have trapped you here.
Why didn't they watch over me? I'm a detective too. I was talking to Michelle about a leaky faucet, and I wanted to go out.
你唔使唔認啦，
You showed up.
No need
你
to
外父一早已經認
invent
晒
some
啦。
preposterous story.
But really,
Michel has told me everything. You are the fiancé of Suzanne Moreau, his daughter.
Oh. I see.
Surely this is not a big surprise to you.
No. Suzanne was the only woman I ever loved. And I failed her. We got into a spat. It was nothing, but I was too proud to apologize. We weren't speaking at all. Suzanne never really cared for that guy Noah. She would have forgiven me. If only.
冇啦，人已經死咗啦。
If only.
If only. A common refrain between lovers who
成車都關事嘅。
Obviously, Pierre Michel and Fräulein Schmidt both drugged
兩個哦，呢個就解釋到點解
those.
哦點解佢咁啊？因為兩個都落過藥。
My findings to her and book. Haha! Golden moustache.
因為兩個人都間接落過，即係都
I wonder
都落過藥啊，所以就
gets his
令到佢
recipes
呢個
from game.
劑量超標 overdose 上去，所以到暈到而家，哦就係咁解。
I have told you everything I can.
得啦。所以話呢個世界就係有咁巧，唔緊要查，我冇瞓過，一鋪瞓飽佢。係啊，平時我哋翻工拍嘢咁樣，冇得瞓，一嘢瞓飽佢。
So, my friend, tell me, you have something new?
講咗岩士堂案先啦。
uncovered multiple connections with the Armstrong case. Pierre Michel is the father of Suzanne Moreau, little Daisy's nanny, and Monsieur Hardman was Suzanne's fiancé.
起碼近成車人冇一個唔關事，暫時除咗兩個廚師之外，仲有個酒保。
What a coincidence, don't you think?
But it's incredible! What are the odds that so many people linked to that tragic affair ended up on the same train?
About the same as you winning the lottery, my friend.
I wasn't the officer who interviewed Fräulein Schmidt back then, so she couldn't recognize me here on the train. How could they know who I was?
There were other passengers who might have. Or she may have seen you when you visited the Armstrong home. Mademoiselle, look. I know who drugged you. Fräulein Schmidt and our conductor, Pierre Michel, both admitted putting sleeping pills into your tea. This explains your overdose. They are relieved you are recovering.
Michel drugged a passenger? On behalf of the company, I offer my apologies to you, Mademoiselle Luck. Michel will answer for this outrage.
Both of them? I was pretty sure about Fräulein Schmidt, but I admit that I did not suspect the conductor.
It is now clear to me that some of the clues to this elaborate plot were staged for my benefit.
兇手係希望我得出咩結論？呢個
I do not think that's the right answer. That's the right answer.
我得出結論係我想同埋佢想，
Some clues
我
and
揀咗我
information
想。
collected so far could lead to a hypothesis. The murderer boarded the train in Vinkovsky, killed Ratchet, and then left the train immediately.
How did you come to that possibility?
Monsieur Hardman told me about a short man with a high-pitched voice who threatened Ratchet. Imagine for a moment that this man, wearing a wagon-lit conductor's jacket, killed him while Michel was on the platform at Vinkovsky. This murderer then hid the conductor's jacket in Detective Locke's room, then fled before the train left.
Why choose Detective Locke's room?
Why, indeed. Let me re-explain from the beginning.
又嚟啦 ！Oh my god！ 呢個最麻煩。好，我哋從又嚟過啦。第一件事就係半夜啦，所有嘢都係停車開始嘅。之後兇手扮成咗火車管理員上車。擊殺，掉把刀先，之後處理外套，走人再上車，好似係咁啊！啱，叻，我真係叻。
Et voilà.
Et voilà.
Mon Dieu! Oui! That must be it! Everything fits so well!
It fits too well, my friend. Other
冇錯，
clues
合理得
lead
滯。
to a second hypothesis, much more plausible.
我哋諗個唔合理假設啦。兇手唔止一人啊，每個兇手同呢個案有關。可能學 Winnie 話就係一人一刀。
That happens to me a lot. So, we have multiple murderers, all related to the Armstrong case. The murderer from Vinkovsky was a fabrication to turn suspicion away from those on the train. They expected the investigation to be led by some small-town official who could easily be misled.
Mr. Poirot?
Detective Locke, forgive me. you are an obvious exception. You tracked Ratchet with the tenacity of a bloodhound. Unfortunately for the killers, they not only had you to deal with, but now they had, and I say this with all modesty, the world's greatest detective Hercule Poirot, dropped into the midst of their meticulous planning.
Multiple murderers? Multiple detectives? Poirot, please take pity on me. Who is linked to this case, and who is not?
My poor friend, I have gone speeding out of the station without you. I will continue.
綁架案有關。佢啦，佢啦，佢啦，佢啦，佢啦，呢度已經有1、2、3、4、5個，爭4個。你啦，你啦，爭2個。你啦，同埋你嘅。哦，佢唔啱，係光頭佬唔啱。嗰下又關係佢 ，sorry。啱晒。
That's the right answer. Fräulein Schmidt, Pierre Michel, Monsieur Hardman, and Monsieur McQueen are all linked to the Armstrong case. I also know that Sonia Armstrong's sister and godmother, Countess Andreni and Princess Dragomirov, are on this train. And finally, Detective Locke discovered that Mr. Foscarelli was the Armstrong chauffeur.
If we add Detective Locke and Ratchet, of the 12 passengers in that coach, 9 have a connection with the Armstrong case. What next, Poirot? Or should I say, who next?
It is time to summon everyone.
Everyone? Even Dr. Constantine? The train crew other than Michel?
Dr. Constantine, yes. I will need him. But we don't want the others as witnesses.
I will see that their duties keep them occupied elsewhere.
Excellent. I have always thought this moment in a case is much like Rodin unveiling the thinker before a captivated audience. A work of art. Have you not felt that way, Detective?
No, Mr. Poirot. I'm happy just to slap the cuffs on him.
Well, there is some artistry in that as well, I suppose.
Where would you like the unveiling, Poirot? The lounge?
Perfect.
Then I will gather all the passengers in the lounge.
北好先生。結果又係停車。其實我而家先係最危險喎，我係隨時俾人殺嗰個。你查越多嘢，一定係殺我哋喎。如果佢係兇手有幾個人，會夾埋一齊殺幾丁友喎。唔使驚，又係咁嘅 keep 住用翻呢個方式，一人一刀。
Can I get you
an aperitif？
對佢哋為正義而戰。哇嚟啦！睇嚟係開始一人一刀捅我啦。
Monsieur Bouc, are the train crew locked in their quarters?
Yes, they are.
Then the stage is set for the final act. Ladies and gentlemen, I have gathered you together to hear my reconstruction of the murder of Samuel Edward Ratchet, also known as Cassetti. There is not one, but 2 possible solutions of the crime. I shall put them both before you, and I shall ask Monsieur Bouc and Dr. Constantine here to judge which solution is the correct one.
2 solutions?
Mr. Poirot, I am hardly qualified.
Nevertheless, your assistance is required. Now, you all know the facts of the case. Ratchet was found stabbed to death this morning. He was last known to be alive at 12:37 a.m. last night, when he spoke to the wagon conductor through the door. His watch was found to be badly dented, and it had stopped at 1:15. Dr. Constantine, who examined the body, puts the time of death as having occurred between midnight and 2 in the morning. At half an hour after midnight, as you all know, the train ran into a snowdrift. After that time, it was impossible for anyone to leave the train. So, here is my first theory. The enemy, as Ratchet expected, joined the train at Vinkovsky by the door left open by Captain Arbuthnot and Monsieur McQueen, who had just descended to the platform. He was equipped with a wagon-lit jacket, which he wore over his ordinary clothes, and a pass key which enabled him to gain access to Ratchet's compartment in spite of the doors being locked. Ratchet was under the influence of a sleeping draught. This man stabbed him with great ferocity, 12 wounds in all. He left the compartment through the communicating door to Madame Hubbard's compartment.
Yes, that's so. Scared me half out of my wits.
The murderer thrust the dagger he had used into Mrs. Hubbard's handbag in passing. Without knowing it, he lost a button of his uniform. Then he slipped out of the compartment and along the corridor. He put the uniform jacket into Detective Locke's suitcase to cast suspicion on her. And a few minutes later, dressed in his ordinary clothes, he left the train just before it started off again, using the same means for egress, the door near the dining car. That is the first hypothesis. But there's a second. For that, we must examine the motive for the crime. Why was Ratchet killed?
Revenge.
The motive is clear. Revenge, of course. Nothing was stolen. And we know that Ratchet had made many enemies. This was a premeditated crime, meticulously planned.
作案計劃幾時產生嘅？係喺火車從伊斯坦堡啟程之前好幾個月。
Since the kidnapping and death of little Daisy Armstrong, which traumatized many people close to the family. Even when the police concluded that it was Suzanne Moreau, questions remained. Detective Locke continued her investigation, as did others. They became convinced the truth lay elsewhere. We now know who the real murderer of Daisy is. It is clear now that Daisy's killer was Ratchet, also known as Cassetti and Michael Clark and how many other names. But of course, many of you have known this for a long time. It is obvious that the 12 stab wounds are not a random number. Dr. Constantine's analysis revealed that some stab wounds appeared to have been caused by a right-handed attacker. Others indicated the knife wielder was left-handed. Some wounds were deep, more than one fatal, yet others were not much more than mere scratches. What can explain these discrepancies? This leads us to an obvious conclusion. They are symbolic.
Symbolic. 嚇？美國嘅陪審團 Daisy 係咪12歲
No, Poirot. Daisy was 3 years old.
陪審團 OK。
12 stabs. 12.
原來美國陪審團係12個人嘅。
Same number as a trial jury in the United States. But not just a jury of 12 members condemning him to death, but 12 executioners as well. This self-appointed jury had meticulously planned for everything except
snow.
Snow. the avalanche that stopped us, as well as the presence of not one but two detectives on the train. They had to improvise, to hastily add clues and false leads.
打亂，其實每個都係。
The time on Ratchet's broken watch was deliberately set to conceal the true time of the crime.
係咯，每樣嘢都係。
This woman in a red kimono does not exist. I don't know which of the passengers it was. It does not really matter. It was just a performance, a charade to introduce another possible culprit to muddy the waters. The vial of vaping liquid incriminated Captain Arbuthnot. However, he had a solid alibi confirmed by Monsieur McQueen. Impossible then to suspect him. The conductor's jacket found in Detective Locke's suitcase was put there only to cast suspicion upon her. All these false leads were intended for me. But I am Poirot. I understood the truth. We have a train full of suspects. It's time to identify who the real culprits are. Let's start with Detective Locke.
是否吉咗一刀？冇。
Planting the conductor's jacket in her suitcase
而家真係篤每個人有篤佢一刀嘅。
Detective Locke, but she couldn't fake her drugged condition. Dr. Constantine can testify that the drugged tea incapacitated her for hours, and she had 2 relapses. Let us move on to Monsieur McQueen.
Mr.
When
McQueen.
I told him about Cassetti, he looked very surprised that I managed to make the connection between him and the Armstrong case. He told me, "But I thought we had..." I think he meant...
我以為我哋已經將證據消滅
You
啦。
didn't leave any real clues linking the murder to the Armstrong kidnapping. Moreover, you insisted that Ratchet did not speak French when you knew I had heard a voice calling out in French that was supposed to be Ratchet.
佢有冇啊？佢有啊。
You took some pleasure in leaving me false clues, I think. It was quite annoying. But you told me yourself that your father was the district attorney who handled the Armstrong case.
The case haunted my father. At first, he believed Suzanne Moreau had helped her boyfriend, Noah, to kidnap Daisy, even though there were questions that went unanswered, and a young policewoman refused to let it go, continuing to find discrepancies, but never enough to reopen the official investigation.
That policewoman sits there. Her name is Joanna Locke.
Then tell him. Tell him how in the end my father believed you, how he resigned a job that he loved, racked with guilt that he may have let that monster go free. He died young, broken, his faith in justice broken. That's what Ratchet did to him.
Thank you for your honesty, Monsieur McQueen. Your father is one more victim of the man who called himself Ratchet. Now, I will turn to Ratchet's valet, Monsieur Masterman.
佢係應該係戇鳩嘅，諗下先。
No, Poirot. Remember Ratchet's sleeping
我有翻轉頭原來。 安眠咗咯，係佢餵藥嘅，我唔記得咗添。佢餵藥嘅。
danger close to him and naturally wanted to stay awake. You gave him
仔咁上
sleeping
心。
pills without his knowledge. Once he was sound
因
asleep,
為
you
幫媽媽報
could
仇
do
啊。
what you had to do in peace.
Sir, I'll tell you the truth. I was Colonel Armstrong's adjutant in the war, sir. And afterwards, I was his valet in New York. I'm afraid I concealed the fact this morning. It was very wrong of me, sir, but I knew how suspicious it would look.
Is that all you have to say?
That's all, sir.
其實已經可以接下來個都可以屈佢有嘅。
Suspicious stone unturned. Let us move on to Monsieur Book.
What?
Me?
A suspicious stone?
佢有冇啊？有少少開心。Mr. Book 有冇睇資料啊？睇下數據先。佢都有啊，係嘛？直接屈佢有啊。諗下點解佢有先。但係呢度係從來都冇 book 嘅，其實我覺得佢單純係幫兇。佢冇痛。我哋嘅友誼啊，公司董事啊。
Lofty position as director does not
我明啊，我明啊。我明啊，我明啊。佢如果佢有份嘅話，佢大不了可以唔俾佢上車，因為開頭嘅時候佢係上唔到車。
Book, my friend, of course you are not guilty. You did everything you could to get me on this train. What madness would cause you to ensure, and I speak with all modesty, that the best detective in the world could be present to witness your crime?
But doesn't our friendship count as well?
Most assuredly, but a murderer can wear all sorts of masks, including friendship. Let us consider our ever-efficient wagon-lit conductor, Pierre Michel.
Pierre Michel.
No, that is his motive.
動機唔係，係實體證據。OK， 動機唔係。
Your admission that you drugged Detective Locke immediately incriminates you, but the murder could not have been possible without your very capable assistance. Your knowledge of train procedures made the murder possible, and your position in the corridor of the train allowed you to be the perfect alibi for several passengers. And your motive? Suzanne Moreau. Daisy Armstrong's poor nanny, who was wrongly accused and committed suicide, was your daughter.
C'est un foiré. He got what he deserved. My poor daughter has finally been avenged. My Suzanne. My child.
Let's move on now to Monsieur Hardman, one of 3 detectives on this train.
你都有份㗎啦。
Monsieur Hardman, I think you are a real
外父有份，點解冇份？外父捅一刀，你都要捅一刀。
Your alibi was that you were watching the corridor to protect Ratchet, which, of course, you never did. You protected Pierre Michel. However, we just saw that his alibi doesn't hold up, so neither does yours.
I don't know about the conductor.
Being Suzanne's fiancé, you had a substantial motive to punish Ratchet. You used your detective skills, just as Detective Locke did, to hunt him down and finally avenge the death of your beloved.
That's right, Mr. Poirot.
我喜歡呢個選項。老屈，又耷低頭，又死狗。下個。
Fraulein Schmidt, the lady's maid with the soul of a cook.
你有冇桶啊？你有啊？
Although she tried to protect the princess when I presented her with the embroidered handkerchief, that's not evidence she committed murder. Fräulein Schmidt, you told me of your remorse for drugging Detective Locke. I believe you are sincere. However, as the cook of the Armstrong family, you experienced the drama from within. The death of Daisy, then Sonia Armstrong, who died in childbirth, and finally, Suzanne and John Armstrong.
So much misfortune in that poor family. The death of this criminal is only justice.
Let us move on to Countess Andreni. I was impressed by the earnestness of her husband when he swore to me solemnly on his honor that his wife never left her compartment that night. Should I believe it? Even if it seems logical, it's more complicated than that. I believe Countess Andreni.
佢冇啊，又唔同樣喎，原來。 會有足夠力氣行兇，道德上唔會允許自己行兇。佢係岩士索利亞蘇治亞，咁係佢清白嘅原因咩
？Countess Andreni, being Sonia Armstrong's sister, you had every reason in the world to want to avenge her, but you were incapable of stabbing someone. Even after what he had done to you and your family, the night of the crime, you simply took a sleeping pill. I appreciate the irony that nearby, Detective Locke was also in a drugged sleep. When you awoke, you thought the nightmare was over. Hush. Excellent transition. I was coming to you, Count Andreni.
咁細老婆啊，一定有啊。
12 people, a jury. This was very important to all of you. If Countess Andreni did not stab Ratchet, someone had to take her place. And you, Count, the beloved husband. I've seen how fiercely you love and protect your wife.
Enough! I would do anything for Helena. Anything. Even that.
Yes, even that. Let's move on to Monsieur Foscarelli.
佢就董輝咁樣。
Detective Locke found out that you were the Armstrong chauffeur, and that you planned to travel on the same train at the same time as Ratchet. That is what made her decide to obtain a ticket as well. Unfortunately, she could not prevent the murder. You lost your tongue, Mr. Foscarelli?
Oh, Daisy. She was the delight of the house. Tonio, she called me. And she would sit in the car and pretend to drive me.
And you, Mademoiselle Olson, a champion for the immigrants, a worthy calling.
佢
I do not.
啊，佢都有份啊！係，其實佢有份，專登唔鎖。
Mademoiselle Olson, you supported Madame
佢專登冇
Hubbard's
鎖個
story
門。
about her connecting door latch, a story that I later demonstrated to be impossible. So, you deliberately lied to me, and you also lied about Mademoiselle Debenham's whereabouts.
Enough! I can't take this anymore. I know what you want from me, Mr. Poirot. Very well. Here it is. She was my little Daisy, my angel, so patient. When I patched a scrape or took her temperature, that was my job. But she was so much more to me. She was a shining light in an ever-darkening world. I've tried to honor her by caring for children who have lost everything.
Thank you, Mademoiselle Olsen. You too shed light on your part in this mystery. You were Daisy Armstrong's nurse. I will ask you no more questions. It is enough that you have admitted what I know to be the truth, and I understand. Let's move on. Constantine.
You suspect me? I know none of these people. I didn't know Ratchet either, and I've taken a solemn oath to help people, not murder them.
Now, really, Poirot, he has helped you get to the truth. Dr. Constantine was certainly helpful to my investigation, but that does not prove he is innocent. You are one of the few people in this room not to have any connection with the Armstrong case. Moreover, your alibi is confirmed by Monsieur Bouc, whom I would trust with my life.
That is very kindly said, my friend.
We now come to Mademoiselle Debenham and Captain Arbuthnot, whose relationship was not in doubt from the moment I inspected your room at the hotel.
You have a bloody nerve.
Indeed, I do.
We're getting married.
Congratulations. But I would rather talk about your relationship to John Armstrong.
吓？佢係佢嘅兄弟啊！佢嘅士兵。
My little grey cells did not let me down. Captain Arbuthnot, you served in the army with John Armstrong. What I don't understand is why a man your age is still a captain. One might expect you to be a colonel as well.
Ever fought in a war, Poirot?
It was war that first brought me to England.
Then you know what it's like. There's a shattering sound, and death, and mistakes, acting on intelligence that proved to be wrong. I sent a patrol to their death. Good men, brave men, wasted. John testified on my behalf at a court-martial. I'm not a colonel. I don't deserve to be, you bloody fool. But I'm also not in prison. John remained my best friend until... There, you have my story. Understand now?
Archie, calm down, please.
You're right, Mary. What you see in me, I don't understand.
Oh, Archie, I see in you what John saw.
Miss Debenham, I'm sorry.
My turn, is it?
I'm afraid so. And you have caused me quite a puzzlement. Your connection with the Armstrong family was not obvious. Then I remembered the job you currently hold.
佢係咪一個老師嘛？佢就係佢老師啊！
Et voilà.
有關事嘅。
You were the teacher of... No, she was the teacher of Countess Andrény.
Oh, Helena. Okay.
You were the teacher of Helena Andrény, whose maiden name was Helena Goldenberg before she married Count Andrény.
Yes, absolutely. Why lie to you? She was an excellent student.
Captain Arbuthnot.
你實有份㗎啦。
You had one of the strongest alibis, thanks to Mr. McQueen. But his testimony melted like a snowflake. There went your alibi. Poof! Unless you have another one. As for you, Mademoiselle Debenham, I do not.
佢都有份，又有份，屌啊！
Yes, I remember overhearing Mademoiselle Debenham talking with the captain at Circuit's station. She said, "Not now, not now, when it's all over." That's significant in light of what we now know, but not enough to incriminate her.
係喎，小姐靜姐阿布洛斯。
Mademoiselle Olsen was the only
就
one
佢都有
who
份，即係你
could
有份啦。
confirm your alibi. I think you know where you stand.
Very good, Mr. Poirot. Are you satisfied?
I will be soon. Now I must turn to Sonia Armstrong's godmother, Princess Dragomirov.
你一定有份㗎啦，你唯一一個做啱㗎你。
Princess Dragomirov, you weren't on my list of suspects at the start, given your social position.
I left my social position in a cold country.
Do you object to being addressed as Princess?
We deny people the opportunity. It makes a good story to tell their friends. It also guarantees a good table in the best restaurants.
Princess, there is also your extreme physical fragility.
It does not stop me when I must be strong.
Indeed. Of more importance, though, is the fact that you're the
應該就係
only
尾聲喎，已經準備。
left-handed person on the train. And the single blow to ratchet from a left-handed person
雙刀流變 N 刀流，唔係啊，直頭係呢個係刺客軍團。
Finally, I'm afraid I know the alibi that you shared with Fraulein Schmidt is false.
You have been very thorough, sir. I hope you will permit me to say we are much alike.
I am honored. Now it is time to end with Mrs. Hubbard, or should I say...
就係你，
Poirot.
唔係
That is
咁錯
not a
啫。
good answer.
我知係你講。
Linda Arden. If Princess Dragomirov hadn't told me about her relationship with this famous actress, I might not have made the connection. But you are a great actress, madame. Your performance as a flighty, self-involved woman was superb. I never would have guessed something entirely different. As for what ties you to the Armstrong family, it is obvious.
有關事。咩啊？佢係Linda，佢係佢 Sonia 嘅姐係咪 Sonia？Sonia 定係 Sonia？
This is
唔
wrong.
係
But I'm never far from the truth.
Sonia 嘅母親係母親。
That's the right answer. Mrs. Hubbard, you are the mother of Sonia Armstrong and Mrs. Andreni. The fact that Mrs. Hubbard has direct access to Ratchet's room is no accident, but it does not incriminate her directly. The fact that Madame Hubbard
居然係嗰個包，
actually
我以為唔係嗰個
Linda
包包。
Arden, Sonia's
佢話嗰個包包佢唔
mother,
認啫嘛，
and
但係都唔
the
係話
gifted
證據
actress
啊
of
嘛。
stage and screen, a woman who could teach her fellow conspirators how to play their roles,
我唔
makes
係好啱喎，
her
佢喺
one
隔
of
離
the
房
best
喎。
place to organize the murder. No, the execution of Ratchet.
係喎，佢喺隔離房喎，佢話個包包遮住，但係其實冇遮住。
Madame Hubbard, you really are a remarkable actress. You put so much effort into your character and into staging the murder. I saw it as a perfect mosaic. each person playing his or her allotted part, so carefully arranged that if suspicion should fall on any one person, the evidence of one or more of the others would clear the accused person and confuse the issue. Everything was meticulously planned. But you hadn't expected that Detective Locke and I would be on this train, and the avalanche would block it on the night of the murder. You had to improvise. But again, improvisation would be another of your skills as an actress. So you came up with the story that the latch on the door that communicated with Ratchet's compartment was hidden by the handbag.
I always fancied myself in comedy parts. That slip about the sponge bag was silly. It shows you should always rehearse properly. You know all about it, Mr.
冇錯，同大家講啊，一定要
You're
排
a
戲。
very wonderful man.
啲演員唔好以為自己得
Even
啊，
you
要排
can't quite
戲。
imagine what it was like. That awful day. I was just crazy with grief. So were the servants. We decided then and there that the sentence of death that
哇！
Ratchet had
真係
escaped
一日到
had got to be
，Winnie，
carried
恭喜
out.
你，
There
你
were
係
12
啱。
of us, or rather 11. Suzanne's father was over in France, of course. First, we thought we'd draw lots as to who should do it, but in the end we decided on this way. It was the driver, Antonio, who suggested it. Mary worked out all the details later with Hector McQueen. It took a long time to perfect our plan. We first had to track Ratchet down. Hardman managed that in the end. Then we had to try and get Edward and Hector into his employment. Well, we managed that. Then we had a consultation with Suzanne's father. Captain Arbuthnot was very keen on having 12 of us. He seemed to think it made it more orderly. He didn't like the stabbing idea much. But he agreed that it did solve most of our difficulties. Well, Suzanne's father was willing. Suzanne had been his only child. We knew from Hector
結局係咁
that
樣。
Ratchet would be coming back from the east sooner or later by the Orient Express. With Pierre Michel actually working on that train, the chance was too good to be missed. My daughter's husband had to know, of course. And he
雖然我睇唔
insisted
到，我
on
超中意
coming on
睇
the
推
train
理小
with
說，但係
her.
我睇唔
Hector
到。
wrangled it so that Ratchet selected the right day for traveling when Michel would
都唔
be
係嘅，
on
睇人
duty.
哋睇人哋嘅
Then,
腦洞點樣
the
開都
last
好有
minute,
嘅。
you came. For the rest of the story, you worked out everything, Mr. Poirot. You were right about all of us. What are you going to do about it? If it must all come out, can't you lay the blame upon me and me only? I would have stabbed that man 12 times willingly. It wasn't only that he was responsible for my daughter's death and her child's, and that of the other child who might have been alive and happy now. It was more than that. There had been other children kidnapped before Daisy, and there might be others in the future. Society had condemned him. We were only carrying out the sentence, but it's unnecessary to bring all these others into it, all these good, faithful souls.
我唔係判官。
You are a director of the company, Monsieur Bouc. What do you say?
In my opinion, Poirot, the first theory you put forward was the correct one. Decidedly so. I suggest that is the solution we offer to the police. You agree, Doctor?
Certainly, I agree. As regards the medical evidence, I think that I made one or two
成班人
fantastic
結果就係
suggestions.
殺咗兩代無數。
Then, having placed my solution before you, I have the honor to retire from the case.
真係可以咁啊！真係可以咁啊！成扎人當無數啦！主角下一個死就係佢啦！做彩蛋添，係你啊！全部人捅㗎你啊！
I'm sorry to wake you up in the middle of the night, Poirot, but it couldn't wait. There was a detail that bothered me in my preliminary autopsy of Ratchet's body. I went back to examine the body and I discovered a wound covered by another. The blow I hadn't seen was delivered by a thinner, sharper blade. So there were not 12, But 13 stab wounds.
12 stabs for 12 jurors. It doesn't work with 13 wounds. The symmetry is destroyed.
It can't be one of the culprits who stabbed him twice?
Doctor, a different knife was used. There is only one explanation. Somehow, some way, there is a 13th murderer on this train.
We must tell Book. The case is not solved.
Huh? Encore.
Please come in. Ah, Book. I see we are
講你嘅原因聽
at
下。
last.
Yes. The way was finally cleared while we slept. If all goes well, we will arrive in Venice this evening. The train will be there for several hours for refueling and reprovisioning. What do we do with the 13th murderer? Do you have a lead?
I thought about it. There is one clue that was left aside in my investigation. The diary I found in Ratchet's safe mentioned an
方便出 DLC
appointment in Venice. Someone with the initials AW. He will never keep the
係咯
appointment. But there should be
AW 啊，
enough
我都未
time.
解
I
呢個
must
謎。
try to keep that appointment for him.
係咯，呢份嘢。忘記咗呢張卡都。H 18號幾點啊？有冇寫幾點啊？10點搣 A 揼，10點搣 A 揼。BENIC 威尼斯呢個咩意思啊 ？full 10啦，呢個 search 下先。呢個係咩意思？我而家揾緊 Google 仙女噴泉喎，呢個意思係嗰啲公園嗰啲噴水池有冇寫？有，呢度寫咗。OK。
I'm right again. That happens.
我又啱。 但係個刀已經捅咗咯喎，即係應該係個愛人替代。我覺得能夠幫助威尼斯進行調查，有朋友可以出呢個角色嚇。未到先捅咗刀。
How would it look to the police if I asked a suspected murderer for help?
醫生係101號房，得醫生係清白嘅。醫生，估唔到仲有得玩落去。醫生唔喺房喎，係。
I don't have time for small talk. How? I don't have time for small talk.
每一個人信唔過。呢一關就冇胡鬚仔攞。有喎，呢一關有4個胡鬚攞添喎。哇！離爆機仲有段路，原來我以為爆機啦，其實估唔到啲驚喜啊！好，睇下醫生房有冇胡鬚仔。醫生可能拎把刀試到痛一下，佢都貪玩，都唔爭再試一下，都未咁大個仔未試過。
嚇？
會唔會醫生就係 A-dub？ 因為咧睇咗個乘客 list 咧，冇一個人係 A-dub 嘅，好似係。
How would it look to the
自己房有冇鬚鬚？
I think we should let Ratchet rest in peace. I don't.
全部都係有罪嘅，佢哋。
How would it look to the police?
全部都係。其實都咁嘅狀態，仲點解要揾個？我覺得薄啲利啲咧，個感覺似係嗰啲手，即係嗰個鎖匙扣嗰啲指符喎，其實係唔係手術刀。
Doctor, a moment. Have you made arrangements for Ratchet's body?
Yes, it will be collected by the Italian authorities when we reach Venice. The autopsy will be performed there. However, there is something odd.
Oh?
Since the train is French, jurisdiction must be shared. When I told them you were already on the scene, they have both agreed to support your investigation until we reach Paris. Ratchet's compartment will be sealed until we arrive there. All of those who conspired to kill Ratchet are to be confined to the train until then as well.
So, thanks to you, I am the rope in a tug-of-war between two countries.
Oh, but I thought you would want to be in charge. And isn't it odd we continue on our journey with a trainload of people that police consider potential murderers?
Calm yourself, Doctor. It is not the first time I find myself in the middle. And, to be honest, I welcome the chance to see this case through. It is fast becoming one of the most challenging of my career. So, my dear book, how does our journey progress?
We are well
on our way to Venice. All
the
the passengers are locked in their rooms by order of the authorities. I watch them when they want to stretch their legs, like the captain there behind you.
I see that you have the situation well in hand. Would you be able to accompany me to Venice to follow a lead?
I'm honored you asked me, my friend. I would have loved to help you. But I have to manage the situation here. I must make sure no one gets off the train in Venice and that Ratchet's body is transferred.
Doctor, a question.
Would
you assist my investigation in Venice?
I can't. I'm afraid. I'm to accompany Ratchet's body when the Italian police take possession of it. I've been asked, commanded really, to help with the autopsy because of my earlier examination.
佢好願意啊，咁問下佢咯，你做乜撚嘢？
I'm not going to ask a murderer to help me catch himself.
冇得同佢講嘢。香港嘅酒保同我去喎，酒保冇犯罪啊。佢同我去咯。
Mademoiselle Locke, you are clearly an excellent police officer. Could you accompany me to Venice for an investigation into Ratchet's activities? There is much we still need to know.
Well, yes. It would be an honor to work with you. And I'm glad you trust me. What do you have in mind?
There was a notation in Ratchet's appointment book. He had an appointment.
With who?
There were only the initials A.W. They were to meet at 10 o'clock at the Fontana dei Conigli. I want to know who Ratchet was meeting and why.
But you've already discovered the 12 conspirators. Why is this meeting important?
Unfortunately, the case is not complete. Dr. Constantine has discovered the presence of a 13th stab wound.
One of them could have stabbed him twice.
The wound was made with another, finer blade. Why would one of them have used two knives? Did they want to confess they killed him more than the others? And if so, why bother to deny it when they have already confessed? No, it makes no sense. I do not close a case until all questions have been answered. You, of all people, must understand this.
You're right. I do understand. I'll help you.
Thank you. Together, we will uncover the truth. We will arrive in a few hours. Take the opportunity to rest.
I slept well last night. No more effects of the drug.
Excellent. Then be prepared when we reach Venice. We have another mystery to solve.
即係嗰啲胡鬚唔係喺個車上面揾啊。
This is the third embarking dock, and no gondoliers available at all. With Carnival, you can't find a gondolier to cross that damn canal. They're all booked. The worst thing is that the fountain is just across this canal. We're almost there.
I see a gondolier just over there. Show me how an American detective would handle this.
我親指佢個頭咯，美國警察即刻指住佢個頭。
Every carnival, my friends and I mask, and every carnival, we lose one another.
It's impossible to find a gondolier during Carnival.
他坐喺度嗰個邊個嚟㗎？好驚啊！第一件事啊，打 OPG，睇下附近有冇金色須須先。冇喎，冇金色須須。咁整咁打地圖做咩？
Ancora una volta sono dalla parte spagliata del canale per la festa.
Sorry, I don't speak Italian.
啱啊。咁打地圖都冇。 喺凳度點有一個㗎？冇。OK。唔係好記啊嘛喺度。好啦，行運啦。
It's calm and relaxing.
嚇
Although not as clean as it could be.
而家先嚟超咗好多日啦，一腳踢佢落去。欣賞獅子學咗3年嘅動畫，係啊，冇錯。呢個就係整咁大個地圖嘅原因。收咗錢係要做嘢，呢個企喺度屙尿。最後一次冇就算啦，真係冇睇嚟。我以為會喺呢度揾到啲金色蘇蘇。垃圾桶、台，即係理論上都係呢度噶嘛。你要揾嗰啲嘢係嘛？即係佢夠膽寫喺呢個卡就得㗎。點知原來係回頭，原來喺後邊。哇！呢個賣毒品。ice cream， 哇！一見到 ice cream 想食雪糕。最近都冇食過好食嘅雪糕啦，我想講。係咯，整咁大嘅地圖冇用嘅。唉，唔好搞咁多嘢啦，我哋揾船科，唔係，好似揾到金色蘇蘇啦。唔係我揾隻貓嘅。誒，唔係，呢個係咪？
Not a picture for the tourist brochures.
哇，好有黑喎。
Not a picture for the tourist.
我又揾到，原來只係隻貓。好，2個字。隻好辣黑雪糕。好辣黑雪糕，阿華田定好辣黑。
Hi there. We'd like to cross the canal, please.
There is a bridge about a kilometer down the canal.
Please. According to the map, the Fontana dei Conigli is just
好辣黑
across
雪
the
糕好似
canal.
好食喎。
No, I, Gabriele, cannot help you. I'm sorry.
We'll miss the 10 o'clock rendezvous if we try to get through this crowd. And have to walk a kilometer in both directions. Why is he
點啊？
refusing to take
咁都要
us
解埋？
across? He looks upset. I should try to find out why.
攞槍出嚟啦！
If it's a matter of price, I'm sure we can work it out.
Money? Money won't help me now.
His problem isn't money. What is it then?
攞槍出嚟指個頭啦！你係
I'm
靠偵頭。
sure this little problem will pose no challenge to you.
有咩唔開心啊？點知佢有咩唔開心啫？黐孖筋啊！強人所難，一係就追唔到女。點啊？係咪關呢個事啊？塞咗條渠唔開心啊？
Not a picture.
我點知佢有咩唔開心啊？
Ancora.
Sorry.
眾裏尋他。黐筋。做警察個唔係心理輔導，我忠誠勇毅有啊，唔使做嗰啲咩啊？而家當係咩啊？我點啊？我點知佢點解唔開心啊？ 黐孖筋啊！你隨捉嗰度去問下佢點解唔開心，關唔關你哋事啊？喂，呢隻咁跳嘅，好跳脫喎呢隻 game。我而家算係點啊？解謎啊？使唔使諗一諗啊？思路啊？咩啊？點解唔開心啊？買隻熱狗嗰隻，唔係買狗呢個。
Every carnival, my friend. Every car.
係咯，咁點啊？我唔開心啲咩啊？點算啊？
What a sham! A beautiful bouquet crushed by revelers.
咁點啊？呢度咯係嘛
Bella Chiara, the beautiful.
Bella Chiara.
A beautiful name.
Bella
for a
Chiara.
beautiful gondola.
Bella Chiara. Bella Chiara. Bella Chiara. 啊，又要諗啊！貢多拉船夫問題，佢同女朋友嘈交。
Great.
嚇！
Not bad.
Chiara 係啊。
Hey, I'm a pretty good detective after all.
Great， 我都得啊！佢意思係，好，佢講女啦，唔講錢講女咯，男人都係呢兩樣嘢係咪？
I'm sorry you had a fight with Chiara.
What? How did you know?
I'm a detective. I'd like to help, if I can.
If you have a spare engagement ring, detective, I'll take it.
Ah, I see. You lost the engagement ring you were planning to give Chiara?
Lost? It is worse than that. I threw it away in the
我知喺
canal.
邊，我
I
知喺邊。
bitterly regret this gesture. I now find myself without a girlfriend and without a ring.
我知喺邊。嗱，我知喺邊，你哋估唔估到喺邊？
If we find the ring, maybe the gondolier will take us across.
You are right.
Giri guru,
There is
giri
not
guru.
much time. I will help you.
嗱，我哋一齊揾啦，就喺呢度，係咪？信唔信？信唔信？喂，卓華，卓華又會出現啦。即係之前介紹過嘅大台心師傅卓華，俾掌聲佢，好，歡迎卓華。
I don't need an empty soda can.
好啦，我而家揾戒指啊，係呢個啦。
I know someone who will be happy. I know someone.
唉，真係老套。卓華仲唔瞓覺，定還是聽日又開眼？戒指開9點，開9點仲唔瞓？
Mamma mia, grazie mille,
不過而家
signorina.
你嗰啲喺酒店落樓開工咧，咁就好啲嘅。
know it. How to thank
即係
you?
8點起身沖個涼，咁咪食早餐落去。早幾日翻去講，唔覺啊，翻嚟
Ah,
咯。
yes. The rabbit fountain. Of course, I'll take you across. Then I will
等緊
call
你
Chiara.
講晒啲故事出嚟喎，即係喺大陸拍嘢嘅故
Well
事啊。
done, Detective Locke.
喂，仲要啱搞咁多嘢，又話我唔兜圈兜得圈，又會遲到，搞咁多嘢，然之後睇下佢嘅船慢到，我已經行咗過去啦，即係火都嚟。 食神，係啊食神啊！你睇慢到，仲要足本啊！成段過程俾咗你睇，你可唔可以飛咗佢？
If it's not too much to ask, can you wait for us until we return?
Yes, no worries. I can call Chiara from here. To find the fountain, walk along the quay on the left, then cross the bridge and you are there. You cannot miss it.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Signorina. You have made me the happiest gondolier in Venice. I fixed everything.
I fixed everything. 好啦，我估唔到未爆機，唉，睇嚟仲有排玩。好啦，我哋同阿北浩傾偈先。
You have my full confidence, man.
又交晒俾我。
I leave it to you.
唉，真係搞彎晒。呢度有冇蘇蘇啊？我淨得貓，呢個世界淨係得一種動物啫喎，隻貓。流量密碼掌握咗。點啊？大家有冇感受到佢哋嗰種歡樂啊？我就一啲都感受唔到。我就覺得成班好似懟咗嘢喺條街都遊蕩，係嘛？有啲係企喺度 O.D. 嗱，我喺荷蘭咧旅行嘅時候，睇嗰啲人就係咁啊！嗰啲鬼仔咧，企咗條橋嗰度 O.D. 一個人企喺度，睇佢喺度點喺度震，好開心。咦，有冇套咗嚟？其實
The right time in the right place. Now AW just needs to show up.
係我唔覺到咗咯。
You made me run, Detective Locke. Poirot does not run. I'll wait, sitting down.
啊，咁點啊？有冇錯啊？揾出佢身份。
I have an appointment with you, don't I?
No, dove la tua maschera.
OK， 我哋揾兔仔出嚟做嘢，我估下，因為嗰啲卡咧有兔仔，咁一定係佢咯。
Did you have an appointment here at the fountain?
Yes, to party.
Yes, to party.
We have an appointment, I believe.
謝先毒撚。我哋要揾有兔仔，唔係喎，我點知同邊個有約啫？周黐線，周緊問人哋，我咪約咗你。癲婆，係啊，我咪約咗你啊喂。
I have an appointment with you, don't I?
No, dove la tua maschera.
黐筋。一定係你。
We have an appointment, I believe.
I don't think so. I've never met you.
都唔係，已經去到一個第二個階段啦！呢隻遊戲突然間去到暴走階段。
Did you see anyone who could be AW?
No, no one. But who knows what those masks and costumes are hiding?
係你啦，企喺度咁樣。
Did you have an appointment here at the fountain?
Yes, to party.
Yes, to party. 唉，點啊？冇一個係喎，係咪走啦？要冇，算啦。一定就係問啲面具人。
I have an appointment with you, don't I?
No.
會係你啊！我哋食紙拉圖，搞到我想食雪糕添，但屋企冇攞去買啊！咁點啊？我而家要做咩啊？冇喎，喂，問晒你喎，同阿北浩講嘢。
Did you see?
No.
哦。 吓？咁鬼鼠，有房。
If there's no one to help me, they won't mind if I help myself.
揾到咯喎 ，A 得喎。
Aziz Wadi.
Aziz
That's the
Wadi.
only name that corresponds to the initials AW.
Paziente, non ti ho sentito. Posso aiutarla?
Hello, I'm looking for the Fontana de Canigli. Do you know where it is?
Ah, it's right in front of the hotel. It's easy to recognize because of the rabbits.
Thank you. I had an appointment with someone, but I can't find him. I wondered if you might be staying in your hotel.
I can't help you unless you give me
我
the
俾
name.
名佢得㗎。Aziz Wadi。
I have an appointment with Mr. Aziz Wadi. Do you know if he's here?
Well, unfortunately, he left the hotel this morning. He seemed to be in a hurry.
Lady.
But he left a carta. You are?
I'm Mrs. Ratchet.
Mr. Wadi
Mrs.
asked
Ratchet.
me to give the message to the signore, but I suppose this is okay.
我覺得有人在監視我，我哋換個地方見面啊！我哋先坐喺噴泉旁，佢看了眼白色嘅兔子雕像，突然之間兔子逃走了。愛麗絲追在兔子身後啊！呢一次啊，亦都請愛麗絲成為你嘅向導。穿越狹窄嘅小巷，通過橋梁，愛麗絲遇到兩個男人，佢哋喺爭執邊個頂帽更高。佢腳帶着佢回到窄巷之中。接着小廣場上，佢喺另一個，佢看見咗呢個喝茶的貓、調皮嘅貓喺咗個小巷，愛麗絲追上去。佢氣喘呼呼咁嚟到大廣場嗰個有跑牌士兵嘅營區。愛麗絲跑下跑，到咗碼頭嘅尾端嗰個有巨大嘅門，長着蛇髮女妖嘅面啊！向佢要密碼。愛麗絲一路走。
The receptionist is here. No need to ring the bell.
So, mademoiselle, was our mysterious AW here?
No, but I managed to get his name, Aziz Wadi, and a letter he wrote for Ratchet. It seems to be a kind of riddle rhyme.
Let me see. Well, Ratchet and Mr. Wadi must love this book to refer to it so much.
Yes, I think we have to search and find the tracks that this person left for Ratchet to find him.
I think so. Lead the way, Mademoiselle Locke.
點啊？喂，我冇諗過隻 game 係點喎，我有啲想唞喎。即係嗰下咧落差太大，以為完，點知原來仲有。我哋不如嚟個 part 4啦，好唔好啊？即係擇日再戰。啊，大家點睇？我見到白色兔仔啦，喂，有蘇蘇。
Not really my style, but I'll take it.
喊即係話想繼續睇落去係咪？唔緊要嘅。Winnie 如何 ？Winnie 喺咪度 ？Winnie 已經收咗皮。其實我係可以嘅，其實我係可以繼續落去嘅。因為其實我想落去買雪糕食啫。喂，話一路以嚟有密碼唔見咧。呢個關唔關事啊？病仲食雪糕，基本必須食。我其實喺度亂行喎，我發覺咗我自己。同埋你啱講好立克雪糕，因為我平時食呢個食過呢個阿華田雪糕好立克嘅，真係好少食。 好立克好似好正。超呢度咪我啱坐船嗰度咯，有幾遠啊？佢話要2個小時。咩料啊？我真係搞個船搞咗2個小時，我而家行返過去都唔使2個字。其實阿華田出好立克味，咁佢真係咩雪糕啊？講到尾，薑木勁佢冇晒啦，好立克一定好食啦。即係你試下麥精出雪糕一樣好食咯。維他奶出雪糕未必好食，麥精出雪糕一定好食。咩叫為人為我啊？係咯，誒，到啦喎！咁係咩啊？點知啊？黐線啊！5個位。
No, I did something wrong.
嚇？沿途真係有密碼咩？呢個又有。死啦！我沿途喺度狗行。OK， 個地圖係咁嘅。哇！去到呢度即刻想唞。佢有啲警棍嘅呢個，匿埋。我就知最尾個密碼係9咯，因為個 Medusa 嗰度有9字。咁中間嗰啲數字到底係咩咧？即係咁易冇咁易揾到咧？佢沿途收集嘅密碼，沿途我其實都冇見過有數字咯，我想講。係嘛？沿途真係好似冇見過數字。做咩？有哭什麼？我唞一唞，轉一轉 game，我想即係唔玩呢隻落去住嘅，我可以開個 part 4等我聽日或者及後少少時間再玩落去。好啦，咁決定啦。而家我行去，我睇嚟我要由頭行過，我完全咧 skip 咗咧，係啦，中間所有嘢係啦，咁我睇嚟我係有必要咧，喺呢度做個休息之後，重新整理思緒嘅，咁啊好，呢度 save 下先。 哇，第9章啦，原來去到。OK， 好啦，咁今日呢個東方快車謀殺案嘅咩啊，就係啦，完啦。咁但係咧，我繼續用，咦，等陣先，你睇下佢。
Do you need help, Detective Locke?
It looks like the writer of this letter is quoting Alice in Wonderland.
No, I think it is a pastiche. Monsieur Carroll
佢
was
突然間
a
行
much
出嚟
better
喎，
writer.
行入鏡。
It's a riddle. No, a map.
Both. I think Mr. Wadi was worried their business might be known and has given Ratchet directions to a new rendezvous point.
乜嘢啊？
Mr. Wadi's letter mentions a rabbit. The rabbit fountain is
知
an
啦。
obvious starting point. I believe the letter refers to this place.
喂，唔問你住啦，你都廢嘅。突然間行入鏡去邊度？跟住佢行到咯，即係意思係咪其實？其實佢就係嗰個提示機制，跟住佢行入必到。好啦，我哋唔好理佢啦。既然 save 咗咧，我哋就算啦。咁咧，你哋有冇興趣想我睇我玩其他 game？ 嗱，我未瞓嘅。啊。有冇興趣？有興趣咧，我就繼續 live 落去。我就睇下先，玩好 OK。等下先啊，睇下最近玩緊又有啲有趣嘅遊戲係咩先，啱做直播同大家玩。揾下先啊！其實我乜 game 都好多。有冇西瓜 game？ 西瓜 game 好似係 Switch 啊！我要喺度。嗱，即係咁啦。嗱，如果未瞓嘅，等一等我整啲嘢食，咁啊幾分鐘之後啊，有啲10分鐘到15分鐘到之後，我重新再開個新嘅 live。嗱，好冇？咁到時我可能係啦，喺第二度我穩定單定一隻 game 同大家玩，即係輕鬆小品。好啦，咁啊 OK， 咁啊今日呢個東方快車謀殺案嘅 part 3， 咁啊告一段落先，咁啊揾日再玩埋個 part 4。好，咁多位呢個 live 完結啦，係咁先，拜拜。